Welcome to Dolly Talk. This is me, Dolly. How's everybody going? How's everybody going? Good Lord, what the hell's wrong with me? Sorry guys, I am kind of behind right now. Avka, welcome. Paul is here. Louise, JMK, hey. It's been a day. Yes, it has. Rushed home from work, watching the baseball game. Please update your rolling banner for. God dang it! Always forget. Oh, what the hell am I doing right now? Oh yeah, we are doing the Jailhouse murder trial. Day one opening starting for the Anthony Cummings. So he has 3 charges. 1 murder, repeat violent offender, 2 felonious assault, and aggravated robbery. This gentleman is in prison. He will testify, and it gets quite interesting. It's in Warren County again, same courthouse as our friend Brandon Reefers. I believe this is Judge Teep. So let's go. You are the best, Louise. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you are here today because the defendant, Anthony Cummings,
Working earlier.
To and from Chow, Lebanon Correctional was all under one.
Counsel have told me that they each need 10 minutes for opening.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
we approach.
Yes.
At that time, Cummings again did not notice anything wrong with his head other than
You guys can't hear that, right?
But again, he couldn't see any injuries at that time because he had dreads. Head counts at 9 o'clock.
Sorry, guys. That's on me. Wow. That's awkward. Okay. We're all good now. Carry on.
Counsel have told me that they each need 10 minutes for opening. Is that right? Ms. Nicholson, you get to go first.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Mr. Logston, I have a PowerPoint. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you are here today because the defendant, Anthony Cummings, along with his co-defendant, James Ogletree, went into the cell of the victim, Marquise Wetherington, and viciously attacked him. For 13 minutes, they physically assaulted.
Can I just say, Ogletree is the whitest name I've ever heard. It's like some rich white guy.
Mr. Wetherington, stole his belongings, and left him beaten and bloodied on the cold concrete floor of his cell. As a direct result of this attack, caused by both the defendant and his partner, James Ogletree.
Oh, and I also wanted to warn you guys, they show everything. Like all the pictures, the body, the blood. It's kind of graphic. So just a heads up. I made sure my stream is not rated for kids. I did not turn it 18 plus. I don't think I'll need to, but I do want to give everybody a warning that you're going to see like the body and like the autopsy and stuff like that.
The victim succumbed to his injuries and was found dead in his cell the next morning. Those are the basic facts of this case. What I want to do now is go through and provide you with more of the details about what occurred. On the evening of December 6th, 2023, inmates on the second range of J Block were out for their rec time, where they could move about the block, sit in the day room, take showers, make phone calls, etc. At 7:04 p.m., Marquise Weatherington can be seen in the doorway of his cell, 2J3, the third cell on the second range of J Block, a general population housing unit at Lebanon Correctional Institution located here in Warren County, Ohio. This is the last time that Marquise Weatherington will be seen alive on surveillance video. The defendant, Anthony Cummings, and James Ogletree can then be seen entering cell 2J3 and sliding the door shut. 10 minutes later, at 7:14 p.m., the defendant leaves cell 2J3 with a white mesh bag, consistent with what's known as a commissary bag. He can be seen taking it to a cell on the other side of the range and then re-entering 2J3 at 7:17 p.m. Moments later, both the defendant and James Ogletree can be seen leaving 2J3, sliding the door shut behind them, and heading opposite directions on the range. And at this point, blood can be seen on the white thermal pants of James Ogletree. No one enters the cell for 40 minutes, at which point Marquise Weatherington's cellmate, Jason Addison, returns and enters the cell for approximately 1 minute. You will hear from Jason Addison that between when the defendant leaves the cell at 7:17 p.m. and when he enters the cell 40 minutes later, he is approached by the defendant who advises him that he needs to check on his cellie. You will hear that when Jason Addison enters 2J3 for the first time, the victim, Marquise Weatherington, is laid out on the floor, naked from the waist down and apparently unconscious. From that point forward, Jason Addison enters and exits the cell a number of times before entering the cell with Anthony Cummings at 8:12 p.m. You are going to hear from Jason Addison that during that approximately 3-minute window that he was in the cell with the defendant, they moved the victim up onto his rack, the top bunk. Over December 7th, 2023, Marquise Weatherington is found unresponsive by corrections officers Tyler Lay and Jimmy Potts, and is ultimately pronounced deceased at 8 a.m. by Corey Gerdeman with the Turtle Creek Township Fire Department. Trooper Christopher Creech with the Ohio State Highway Patrol is called in to investigate the circumstances surrounding the victim's death. Cell 2J3 is photographed and evidence is collected. This was Marquise Weatherington as he lay in the prison infirmary where Trooper Creech photographed his body and collected his clothing. Security cameras are then reviewed and the defendant, along with James Ogletree, are identified as suspects. Trooper Kyle Klontz searched the cells of both Anthony Cummings, 2J31, and James Ogletree, 2J17, to find possible evidence. Located in the defendant's cell was a blue sweatshirt, matching that which he was seen wearing in the surveillance footage, with apparent bloodstains on it. And found in James Ogletree's cell in the trash can are the white thermal pants with apparent bloodstains. Those items are eventually sent to the Ohio State Bureau of Criminal Investigations, where forensic scientist Catherine Daly confirms the presence of Marquise Weatherington's DNA on both the sweatshirt belonging to the defendant and the white thermal pants belonging to James Ogletree. Ultimately, Mr. Weatherington's body was transported to the Montgomery County Coroner's Office, where an autopsy was performed. The coroner, Dr. Susan Brown, determined that Marquise Weatherington died as a result of multiple blunt force injuries to the head, resulting in subdural and subarachnoid hemorrhage, which means bleeding in and around the brain, in addition to blunt force injuries to the neck, chest, abdomen, and other extremities. Additionally, she found evidence of strangulation through petechiae in and around the eyes, bruising to the neck, as well as bruising to the muscle and soft tissue within the neck. Through further review of surveillance footage, other potential witnesses are identified and interviewed. You will hear from Shaquem Akeem during this trial about what he saw in the cell during the 13 minutes in question. You will hear that both the defendant and James Ogletree were active participants in a violent assault against Marquise Weatherington. Anthony Cummings was charged with 3 offenses: felony murder, in which the state will need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant caused the death of another as the proximate result of committing a violent felony. In this case, that felony is felonious assault, for which the state will need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant knowingly caused serious physical harm to another. And you will hear that serious physical harm means, amongst other things, an injury that can result in death. An aggravated robbery, in which the state will need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant, in committing a theft offense, inflicted serious physical harm on the victim. In addition to being charged with felony murder, felonious assault, and aggravated robbery, you may also be instructed at the conclusion of this trial on the theory of complicity, which the judge will instruct you means that if you find the defendant aided or abetted his co-defendant, James Ogletree, which means supported, assisted, encouraged, cooperated with, advised, or incited this offense, he can be found guilty just as if he were the principal offender.
So this is like a incitement type thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the conclusion of this case, the state is going to ask that you hold the defendant, Anthony Cummings, accountable for the brutal assault that resulted in the death of Marquise Weatherington and find him guilty on all counts. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nicholson. Mr. Oswald.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, again, my name is Will Oswald. I represent Anthony Cummings. And we talked about the burden of proof, and this is a criminal case, so the state has the burden of proof, and they will present their evidence first. And they must prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. And Judge Cheap will instruct you on that definition of beyond a reasonable doubt. And with reasonable doubt, the state must prove every element of every charge beyond a reasonable doubt. So, for example, it's like baking a cake. You need water, flour, eggs, and sugar. If you don't have each one of those, you can't make the cake. So again, the state must prove each and every element of each charge beyond a reasonable doubt. And listen to all the evidence before you make any decision. So you heard what the prosecutors believe happened on December 6th.
I picked this one just for you, Sweet Tooth.
But you're going to hear a lot more information about this case and what actually happened in that cell from Mr. Cummings. So on December 6th of 2023 in Lebanon Correctional, we know Weatherington was the deceased. We know Ogletree is the co-defendant, and we know Addison was the cellmate. Now, what you'll learn is that Cummings and Weatherington were both from Lorain County. That's Cleveland area. And they actually knew each other.
The Cleveland area.
And they actually hung out together. You're also going to hear that Cummings and Weatherington were not in the gang. And you're going to hear that Cummings and Weatherington wanted to get off that block because earlier that week, people were stealing their commissary. The commissary is what they have, their belongings. And Weatherington was having issues with the Heartless Felons gang. And what his solution was, well, give me one person to fight. I want to fight that person. We'll squash it. We're done. So Weatherington...
For Heartless Felons, they're quite organized with their fighting.
Requested a fight with one of the Heartless Felon gang members. The Heartless Felon sent Ogletree to be that person, to be the muscle. So Weatherington wanted to fight one-on-one. And that is when you see the video or the recording at 7:04, when you see Ogletree and Cummings enter Weatherington's cell. Now, Cummings will tell you he was there. He wanted to mediate the argument, and he was there to make sure other Heartless Felons wouldn't jump Weatherington, who he was actually friends with. At 7:04, Ogletree comes in. He immediately takes Weatherington's commissary bag. And Weatherington told Cummings, go hold on to the bag until this fight's over. And it had his glasses, his commissary, some suit. And so between 7:04 and 7:14, before you see Cummings leave, there was no punches thrown. There was just arguing. And Cummings trying to say, guys, let's just let this go. Stop beefing, stop. So then you see Cummings exit at 7:14 with the commissary bag. The same bag, Weatherington said, that's my stuff, take it out of here so Ogletree doesn't take it, and we're gonna fight. Cummings comes back to the cell at 7:17, and he sees Ogletree on top of Weatherington. Ogletree's punching Weatherington repeatedly, and that's when Cummings pushes Ogletree off Weatherington, and he stops the fight. At that time, Cummings only saw a bloody lip because you'll see from photos that Weatherington has dreads, and so he did not see any cuts or gashes or marks on the head because he had dreads. So then you're going to hear that Cummings went to Addison, the cellmate, and said, hey, you need to check on Weatherington because he saw what Ogletree just did to him. And this is where we talk about unwritten rules that you can't report it to the guards. If you report to the guards, you're going to be a snitch. The heartless felons are going to come after you. So that's why he went to
heartless.
Addison and said, hey, check on Weatherington because he knew Ogletree just beat him up. Then you're going to hear that, well, you heard from the state that 8/12, Cummings then wants to go back and check on Weatherington, who again, he knows from Lorain County. He went back to make sure that Weatherington is okay. At that point, Cummings helps Weatherington, gets him some water, and then helps him get into the top bunk. And that's where Weatherington actually puts his hand on his shoulder, kind of climbs up past him, and that's where you're going to see the DNA on Cummings because he helped him get back in the bunk to make sure he was okay. Again, Addison is going to say he was alive at that time. Cummings, again, did not notice anything wrong with his head other than Weatherington said his head hurt. But again, he couldn't see any injuries at that time because he had dreads. Head counts at 9 o'clock. They lock everything down. Next morning at 8 a.m., Weatherington is deceased. So again, when you listen to this evidence, pay attention to Ogletree, that he's already been convicted of involuntary manslaughter. Pay attention to Ogletree's outdate, which is October 29th of 2043. Pay attention to Cummings' outdate, which is September 25th of 2025. Pay attention to what are called kites. The inmates can send kites or requests to the
Don't say that
COs,
term.
and you'll
Anti-Semitic.
see several kites from Cummings saying, can you please move me off the J block? Because it was getting too dangerous with the heartless felons and them stealing commissary.
I misheard.
Pay attention to photos of Ogletree. Pay attention to photos of Cummings. And finally, like I said, you will hear from Anthony Cummings. Listen to him and compare it with the evidence you hear from the state and see what makes sense. Listen to and consider all the evidence rather than just speculating or assuming. And if you listen to all the evidence before you make that decision, the state will not be able to meet their incredibly high burden. And I would ask for a verdict of not guilty on all charges.
Thank you, Mr. Oswald. Call your first witness.
State will call Tyler Lay. Sir, you can call me. Stay standing, raise your right hand. You swear affirm the testimony you give in these proceedings to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, nothing out.
Proceed, Your Honor, please. Sir, would you please state your name, spell your last name for the record?
Tyler Lay, L-E-Y,
Sir, where are you employed?
Lebanon Correctional.
Is Lebanon Correctional, is that a prison located here in Warren County, Ohio?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long have you been employed by Lebanon Correctional?
It'll be 13 years this November.
What is your current position with Lebanon Correctional?
I'm a lieutenant.
In charge of any specific facility or area?
Right now, I'm the department head for the food service and mail and visit.
What do your
LCI,
duties
I
consist
guess.
of in that position?
So I review anything on GTL when it comes to their photos.
When you say GTL, what does that mean?
GTL is their tablets that they're able to talk to their families on and also get photos and videos, and they can video visit on those.
Okay.
I also run the food service.
Okay.
Run our kitchen and chow halls for our meals.
And sir, what was your position back on December 7th of 2023?
I was the bid officer in J. John. J.
Did you
Block.
say bid officer?
Bid officer?
Could you explain to the jurors, what does it mean to be a bid officer?
A bid officer is a regular officer that works at housing unit. So the days that I'm coming in each day, that is where I would go.
So you're the
back to roll
babysitter.
call in the mornings.
How long were you in that position for, sir?
Roughly 2 years.
And what did your duties consist of as a bid officer?
As a bid officer, you ran that block with another person. There's 2 per housing unit. You released them to and from Chow. Lebanon Correctional was all under one roof. So all movement is controlled by central control. It's in the center part of our north, east, and west and south corridor. Our central control runs and calling when to Chow and to rec and so on and so forth. And the officers are the ones that release the offenders.
You block and as a housing unit. Is that the same thing?
Yes,
Okay. So in Lebanon Correctional Institution, like you said, everything's under one roof there. Is that right?
correct.
How many different housing units or blocks are there at Lebanon Correctional?
Total with segregation and everything you have. A. Adam, C. Block, D. David, E. Edward, F. Frank. G.
Blocks and 4 segregation. Is that right?
Correct,
Okay. And you said you were responsible for J. John.
correct.
So the J block. That's going to be where this incident occurred. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Talk to the jurors a little bit about what is J block? Is that a general population block?
Yes, yes, sir. It's a general population block. Any inmate can be placed in J. John.
And how many levels to J block are there?
There's 3 tiers, and at that time we weren't using our range 3, so it was just first range and second range.
Okay. So inmates are on the first floor and they're on the second floor. All right. Talk to the jurors a little bit about how a typical day goes in prison for someone who's in J block. Back when are inmates released? Are they free to move about during the day?
Tell me
Kind of
about your day.
give them a flavor of what it's like to be an inmate
Flavor.
at J block during that time period.
Coming in on first shift, we do a roll call at 5:30. Once we do our roll call and make it to our block, we're normally down on the block by 5:50. Our first count is at 6 o'clock. Once that count is clear, is normally 6:30. Right at 6:30, we release our kitchen workers that are ones that are not on our out count, because some inmates will come out at 4 a.m. and get like the meal prepped and everything ready
Yeah,
for the
Justin.
breakfast chow.
Just
The
ended.
other ones will be like the table wipers and stuff like that. They'll come out at 6:30. We also release our insulin-dependent diabetics at 6:30. They will go to the infirmary, which is our medical area, to where they'll test their insulin or their blood sugar levels and see if they need their insulin or not for that day. Periodically through there, we also have OPI, and
What's OPI?
OPI is Ohio Penal Services, to where we make all the, it's where our tag shop's at. We make all the license plates. Inmates will be released roughly around
Very
6:45.
short.
So it gives about 15 minutes to leave to go to the kitchen and also to the infirmary for diabetes. And they normally give about 10 to 15 minutes per group that we release. Inmates are not freely to move. They will be released when their group is set to go. When it comes to the day room will open up at 7 a.m. And they'll come out, and that range will have day room. So say first range, we release all of the first range, they would be able to come out, but they would have to either decide to sit in the day room, which we have day room tables in the middle of the block, so they could come out and sit for their day room time. They could shower during this time. They can get on the phones. We have phones available for them to get on. Also a tablet room to where they can place their tablet on there and they can send videos to their families.
One floor is released and has time for daytime, and then separately, the second range is released and has their own daytime. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then how do meals work? Do they get 3 meals in prison?
They get 3 meals a day, and they will be released when that block is called by a supervisor down at the chow hall.
And then what about rec time? Are inmates permitted to have rec time where they can go to rec?
Yes, they have their own slotted time for each block or housing unit, and they will be released during chow hours. They'll normally go to chow and at rec at the same time, so they're not coming back to the block twice. But
At least either for chow or did you say, was it daytime or daybreak? What was it called?
day room.
Day room, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
When inmates are released for going to get food or for day room, if they're out and about in the day room, are the cells open?
Their cell doors are open, but they are not to have them. The cell door to be completely, it has to be pulled up to where if like they go in there to go use the restroom or something like that, like there's something blocking. So like if day room opens up, the cell door can't just be wide open.
Okay.
Like they have to have it somewhat pulled up.
Okay. And are inmates allowed to visit other inmates during that time?
No, sir.
Are you allowed to go into any other inmate's cell ever?
No, sir.
So is it a restriction that inmates supposed to be in other inmates' cells?
Correct.
Okay. Is that always adhered to?
Offenders wise, no.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
All right. So let's talk about the different counts that occur. You indicated that when you come on
Hello.
5:30, I believe you said,
Hi,
is it right?
James
It's 5:30 or 6 o'clock, there's a count.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, there's a count. Talk to the jurors about, because at 6 o'clock, I'm assuming all of the inmates are still locked in their cell. Is that right?
Majority, like I said, there would be a small group that goes after 4 o'clock count. When 4 o'clock count clears, there'll be a small group that gets released to go to the chow halls to.
Sorry, I'm talking first thing in the morning. You
Yeah.
said that, oh,
So at 4 a.m.,
mhm.
at 4 a.m., right after that count, there'd be a small group that goes to the kitchen and like starts making like the meal prep and
Okay.
stuff like that. So not all of them, but it's maybe 15 to 20 inmates throughout the entire institution that will go down there that are permitted to be out during that time.
Okay. For the rest of the inmates, that main count that occurs at 6 o'clock, describe for the jurors, how does that count occur?
So that count, so they'll call it over the radio. It'll be at 10:22, which is for count time. We'll go around and make sure that there is a body that's supposed to be in that cell. It's in that cell.
Oh, there was a body.
And we'll walk all the ranges. Pretty much very similar to what a range check would be, but you're actually counting the bodies that are in the cell.
So you have to count, if there's supposed to be 2 in a cell, you need to verify or at least see that there are 2 bodies in that cell.
Yes, sir.
Do you have to make verbal contact with them?
No, sir.
Do you have to see that they're awake or anything like that?
No, sir.
All you have to do is make sure that there is a body. Like if you see a leg in the bed, that's good enough in terms of making sure somebody's there.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Don't post it
So
on Feet
that is
Finder.
one of the counts that happens right at 6 o'clock. Are there additional counts, not the standard range checks, but additional counts that happen throughout the day?
Yes. So during the day, we have a 6 o'clock count. We have an 11 o'clock count. And then at 4 o'clock, we have a standing count. And then at 9:30, we have the night lockdown count.
Okay, so let's take those one at a time. Describe for the jurors the process then for the 11 o'clock count.
Is the very same as what a 6 o'clock count is. Regular, we're walking, we're counting, making sure the inmates that are not on out count in other areas during the day are in that cell that they're supposed to be in.
And so when you do that 11 o'clock count, other than the inmates and then did you say there's also a 4 o'clock count?
Yes, sir.
Is that the same process that was used at the 11 o'clock count?
No, sir.
What's different about the 4 o'clock count?
So at 4 o'clock, they have a standing count to where they have to be off their bed, standing on their feet, count.
So at Lebanon Correctional.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then you indicated there's also another count that occurs after lockdown for the evening. Is that right?
Correct.
Generally, what time does that occur?
9:30.
And how is that count conducted?
Same as the 6 and the 11.
Okay. So again, you're just walking through and making sure that you can see 2 physical bodies in the cell. Is that right?
Correct.
You're not making contact with them. They don't have to make eye contact, verbal contact, any type of contact. All you need to do is see a body in the cell.
Correct.
Okay. So those are the specific counts that occur throughout the day. Now let's talk about range checks, because you mentioned that before. Describe for the jurors, what is a range check?
A range check is you're walking around to make sure there's nothing really going on the ranges.
Okay.
Something to the nature of if people are running around, you're controlling the ranges, the movement. When inmates come out into their cells, they're either supposed to go to the day room, shower, phone room where they're supposed to be in their cells. They're not supposed to be running around, cell visiting, or any of that nature.
Okay. So kind of keeping an eye on everything, making sure everyone is in place, not doing anything that they're not supposed to be doing.
Correct.
And again, these range checks are conducted how often?
Every 30 minutes, no longer than 30 minutes staggered. So we don't want them to be 30, 30, 30. Do one at 27 minutes, do one at 28, do one at 20, 22, as long as it doesn't exceed 30, but stagger them.
And again, with these, are able to talk and have verbal communications with you. Is that right?
Correct.
You're just walking around making sure no one's out of place and no one's misbehaving.
Correct.
Okay. And are range checks even conducted throughout the evening after the inmates are locked down for the night?
7 days, 24 hours a day. There's always range checks.
Okay, so let's talk about, let's say, for example, just midnight, for example. If you're doing a range check at midnight, how are you conducting that range check? What does that look like?
Same as what you would do during the day. There's just the actual door wouldn't have the ability to be open because they don't come open at nighttime unless there's open.
Do you typically, I don't know what the lighting situation is like in London, do you have to shine a flashlight into the cell or no?
You do not have to.
Okay.
Sometimes most people do, but there's also to where there's the outside lights. They actually, in between each block, we have lights out there. They flash in through the cell, so you're still able to visibly see in the cell. If an inmate were to cover his back window, at that time you can have that inmate wake up and take the stuff down off his back window.
And so if an inmate is up in his bed and he's got covers covering most of his body, you're not checking on him. You're not making sure he's okay. You're just verifying body in there, moving to the next cell. Is that right?
Correct, sir.
Okay. Dear and opening. If you could explain to the jurors, what is commissary?
The commissary is stuff that they're able to buy that is not provided by the state of Ohio. So they're able to, when people put what they call money on their books or money on their account, they each are slotted. I think it's every 2 weeks. They have the opportunity, pair of underwear, socks, and stuff like that. And possibly like TVs and like fans and stuff if they don't already have one.
And you said this is something that just everyday inmates don't get. Somebody on the outside has to put money on someone's books in order for an inmate to be able to purchase these additional items.
They do get state pay, or if they have a job that's inside the institution, that's all varied. And then every inmate gets an allotted amount of money per month that the state gives them.
And are there other inmates that sometimes have that have outside people that put more money on their books so they're able to purchase additional commissary?
Correct.
Okay. So let me ask you, does that make commissary a fairly valuable commodity in prison?
Yes, sir.
And is commissary something that is often traded in exchange for things in prison?
Not supposed to, but yes, inmates or offenders do use it as a sense of currency.
Do inmates sometimes fight and steal each other's commissary?
Yes.
Can commissary be used to trade for drugs or other items in prison? Not that it's supposed to be, but is that something that has happened that you're aware of?
Yes,
Not
sir.
in my prison.
So I assume not everyone has been to prison. If you could walk the jurors through, how is it that some people may be surprised to even know that drugs are in the prison? How does that happen?
Honestly,
I suck at my job.
It's one of those things that it comes from all areas. It can come from dirty employees bringing it in. You can get it from visitors bringing it into other offenders.
I bring it
we
in.
also have contractors that either come in and do big jobs, as in like preparing the institution, or our entire food service itself is a contractor through another company. So everybody coming in, if they're able to some way smuggle it in, that's how it gets into the institutions.
And is commissary, like you said, is that a form of currency that can be used to trade for drugs or other items?
I would assume, yes, sir.
Turn up to 1.25 just
Now
so he
let's talk
speaks
about
normal.
kites. What is it? You can explain to the jurors, what is a kite?
Kite is a form of communication that the offenders have to talk to. If they have like they're wanting to get a job or something, they can kite down to the food service supervisor or correct.
Okay. And that's reviewed by prison staff.
Correct.
Sometimes the accommodations are made. Sometimes I assume they are not made.
Correct.
All right, so let's go to J Block, December of 2023. Were you familiar with an inmate by the name of Marquise Wetherington at that time?
Yes, sir.
And how were you familiar with him?
Being the bid officer in there, you kind of being in there 5 days a week, every week I think I did it for about 2.5 years. You start to get to know every inmate that's in that housing unit. And when you're locking them up from chow, you're locking them up from rec, you're locking them up from anywhere, you start learning where they sell at, what the ins and outs of that offender is, and what you need to look, what inmate or offenders you got to, I guess, keep a bigger eye on, ones that are follow the rules and doesn't really cause issues.
Okay. And are you aware, back on December 6th and 7th of 2023, was Mr. Wetherington in cell 2J3?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
And if you could explain what do those numbers and letters mean?
So the first number will be the range that they are being housed on. The second number is the cell that they're actually in, and the letter in the middle would be the housing unit or block.
In the time in the weeks and months leading up to December 6th of 2023, do you remember Mr. Wetherington ever through a kite or just coming up to you making any complaints about concerns for his safety or his stuff getting stolen?
To the best of my knowledge, no. But if that was something that was brought to my attention, I would have told him to speak to the unit staff. If there's stuff that's ever being stolen or they've lost something or this, that, and the other, they will file a theft loss report with the sergeant of that unit, and they will do an investigation of that situation.
I would have told him to bother someone else. Leave me alone.
To the best of your recollection, as far as you knew, did he ever express to you any concerns about other inmates?
That comes to mind.
Were you also familiar with Wetherington's cellmate at that time, Jason Addison?
Yes, sir.
And again, did you just know him from being on the J Block?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Were you also familiar with an inmate by the name of Anthony Cummings?
Yes, sir.
And how were you familiar with him?
Being J Block officer.
Did you see that individual in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
Could you point him out, describe what he's wearing?
He's wearing a blue dress shirt.
And
See the couch table, identify the defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor. And were you also familiar with someone named James Ogletree?
Yes, sir.
And again, did you know him from J Block?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so all of these people, are they all on the second range back in December of 2023 at J Block?
To the best of my knowledge, I believe Mr. Cummings was on the high side of 2 and Mr. Ogletree was on the low side of 2.
When you say high side and low side, what do we mean?
So what I mean by that is each housing unit is in the shape of a U. So the back wall that's in the shape of a U, we'll have one. So on our south side housing units, which means we got a west corridor, you have a south side facing and you have a north side facing. Our south side blocks have 50 cells on range 2 and 3, and they have 48 on range 1. So we go 1 through 25 is the low side, 26 through 50 is the high side.
Okay. So let's talk now about specifically the morning of December 7th, 2023. You were working that morning, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Does it start off as a typical morning?
Yes, sir.
You do a range check that morning?
Yes, sir.
Does anything seem out of the ordinary to you?
No, sir.
Okay. And sometimes 6:30, 7 o'clock, inmates start being released for different things, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Approximately 7:39, 7:41 a.m., right around that time period, were you alerted to an issue at Wetherington's cell in 2J3?
Yes, sir.
Where were you, how were you alerted, and where were you when you were alerted?
I was at the desk and an inmate came down range and leaned over and said, "Lay, I believe there's something wrong with offender Wetherington in 2J3.
Okay, so this person, were you on the first floor, first range?
Yes, sir.
So this person's
I
on
was
the second
really
range,
annoyed
right?
because I had to
Do
go
you
do
recall who that inmate
something.
was, if you remember? If not, it's all right.
Not off the top of my head, sir.
Okay, but this inmate comes out and yells down to you at the table, "Hey, there's something wrong in Wetherington's cell at 2J3.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what do you do when you hear that information?
I immediately radioed for my partner and discovered inmate Weatherby was not responsive.
Okay, first let me ask you, when you say you radioed your partner, who was your partner that day?
Officer Potts.
Okay. So you radio for Potts, and then both of you go up to check the status of cell 2J3.
Correct.
Tell the jurors exactly what happened when you entered that cell.
first when we entered the cell, we said his name. There was no response. We went and response for life. We called a medical emergency, and he was
Said it
face down with the
seductively,
blanket over his head,
tenderly.
covering the bed. All you seen was his ankles. And we went into the cell, attempted to flip him over, and then that's when they had me step out to start locking down the block, and the supervisor and a responding staff was able to get Weatherby turned over off of his bed onto the procedures.
I know you said Weatherby, you mean Weatherington, is that
Weatherington,
correct?
I
That's okay.
apologize, yeah.
Nope, that's all right.
Oh,
When
Weatherby.
you and Corrections Officer Potts first go into the cell, was his cellmate Jason Addison in the cell?
No.
Okay. And you said that you touched his leg and you could feel that he was cold to touch?
Yes.
Let me, Mr. Weatherington, is that right? Were you able to get him flipped over a little bit?
We were able to get him onto his side into like the recovery position. Was not able to get him all the way to the back until we couldn't get him because of the one arm being locked up. It already felt like it was almost like a rigor mortis almost.
Could you see any blood at that time?
That's when we noticed the blood. Once we were able to pull the blanket back, the entire mattress was
Before nurses are coming to arrive at the cell, is that correct?
correct.
I assume supervisors are coming as well?
Correct.
And you
Come on,
indicated.
don't ruin the story. Tell
what
it
was
in
your role?
order.
What did you do after the medical emergency was called?
After the medical, we got him to the recovery position. Supervisor showed up, had the relief officer step in for me, had me go up and lock the entire block down while they were attempting to get him to his back and also to the ground to where medical staff could perform.
Is that typical procedure when there's a medical emergency called to lock down the block?
Yes.
What's the purpose of that?
The movement, being that both officers were in there, there's no eyes on the offenders roaming around to prevent anything from else happening in that housing unit or block.
And so your responsibility at that time was to assist in getting everybody locked down.
Correct.
Are you aware, did you see when the EMTs arrived?
Yes.
And are you aware whether the EMT?
So yes, sir.
Mr. Weatherington was eventually transported to the infirmary in the prison, is that correct?
Correct.
And just for the jurors, when I use the term infirmary, what is the infirmary in the prison?
Infirmary is our medical area to where if inmates, when they go for their insulin in the morning, that's where all that transpires.
Sir, are you aware in these types of situations, and specifically in this situation, after Mr. Weatherington's body is...
I found this on the web for Are You Aware of These Types?
You must have said something. You must have said something that triggered
Oh,
her.
Judge.
Serious interest, huh?
Yeah.
Are you aware
Oh,
after
he
Mr.
has an
Weatherington's
iPhone.
body
What a
was
loser.
discovered, do prison investigators immediately begin reviewing surveillance footage to try to find the last time that Mr. Weatherington is seen alive?
Yes.
Okay. You're not involved in that process, though, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you're not involved in interviewing any suspects or collecting any evidence?
No, sir.
Correct? Okay. Is it your understanding that whenever there's a crime like that or a suspected crime being committed, is the Ohio State Highway Patrol called in and they're responsible for conducting the actual criminal investigation?
Correct.
Okay. I have one moment, Your Honor.
Sure.
So I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification purposes. You can take a look at those and tell me whether you recognize what you're looking at.
Photos of Mr. Weatherington on the bed. Also medical staff attempting CPR and also putting the
Is that the AED?
AED onto him with the blanket where it was shown on the actual mattress.
So do all of those photographs fairly and accurately depict what is occurring at that time as you were there on December 7th, 2023?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, permission to play them through the computer because they show up a little bit better than putting them on the Elmo.
Any objection?
No objection.
See,
So putting State's Exhibit number 1 on the screen.
Able to get Mr. Weatherby to his back.
Weatherington?
Weatherington.
That's okay.
Yes,
Good
sir.
Lord.
So this is after you've already been inside the cell. You've touched him, you felt that he was cold to touch, and this is after you kind of, and putting State's Exhibit number 2 on the screen, please. What are we looking at in State's Exhibit 2?
Where Mr. Weatherington was taken to the range 2 and
Significant red area on the floor. What did that appear to be to you at the time?
a blood trail from his head.
And to the best of your knowledge, was that there? I
Wow.
don't have any further questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Some of these pictures are kind of graphic also. I mean, not the ones that we just saw, but like it shows like him and everything that happened. I don't think it's I think it's like for the next, at least this witness, I think that's kind of all of them.
thoughts?
Not shanked, but just beat up.
No, that's fine. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
All right, you stated that on December 7th, 2023, you've been a bid officer for roughly 2.5 years.
Yes, sir.
On the J block, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you said you ran the block, right?
Yes, sir.
And you said during certain head counts, the prosecutor asked you if other inmates were supposed to go in other cells, and you said no.
Correct.
How frequently does that not get adhered to?
Catching them, I'd say it gets found every day where people will get caught and get wrote up with rule infractions. But I'm sure that there's things that don't get caught where when you have like 2 newer officers in a housing unit, offenders will try to move more freely, step in other cells during those times that they're let out.
So you said that happens daily.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. And are you aware of any gangs in the J block at that time?
There's gangs throughout the entire institution.
So in J block, name some of the gangs you're aware of.
Heartless felons. There's probably some convicted family in there at that time. I would assume there was some Aryan Brotherhood or some white supremacy groups. There's kind of variety of everything.
Okay. And because of the gangs and the activities, are you aware of unwritten rules among the inmates?
I assume there is some, but I'm not very knowledgeable on them.
Are you aware of one of the rules that if you're cut, you don't leave your cell?
No. They'll make up some story of I was playing basketball in the gym, or I was playing soccer, or I fell off my bunk, or
Furry
something
gains.
to where that they'll go get medical treatment, but they're not telling on them that they got in a fight.
Okay. And
Damn it, Judge.
you talked about commissary, correct?
Darn
Yes,
it.
sir.
And you said that's the stuff you can buy that's not provided by the prison.
Correct.
And that's actually very valuable to these inmates
Correct.
because they can use commissary as currency,
Correct.
trade among themselves,
They're not supposed to, sir.
but they do, correct?
Yes, sir.
And how often does that happen?
I'd say it's also a daily thing.
Okay.
If it gets caught, then it gets confiscated, but they
Okay.
get rule infractions and stuff like that. But that it doesn't happen every day and stuff don't get caught.
Right. And so it's fair to say the commissary is very important to these inmates.
Correct.
And how often does commissary get stolen?
I'd send it stolen, they'll report it, and they have that process for the theft loss reports.
Well, you said also that sometimes there's fights that result in stealing the commissary.
Correct.
And if the inmate doesn't report it, could they also fight the person that thinks is stealing their commissary? Does that happen frequently?
They're not supposed to, but I'm sure it could happen if they fought them.
Okay. So that's possible too in that scenario. All right. Now you talked about kites, and those you explained are basically requests from the inmates.
Yes.
But you don't actually get the kites.
Not as an officer, no.
Okay. And at that time, so you wouldn't have gotten any kites from Cummings or Weatherington?
No, sir.
Okay. And you stated that you were familiar with Cummings and Weatherington.
Yes, sir.
And isn't it true that,
So long since all that transpired.
okay, were you aware they were both from the Cleveland area?
I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if I knew where they were from,
Okay.
to be honest.
But that 2-year period when you were a bid officer, you knew Cummings.
I knew of him, yes, as an offender in that block, being the regular.
And during that 2 years, you really didn't have any incidents with him, correct?
Not to my knowledge, sir.
And one quick question about the unwritten rules. I know you said you're not familiar with all of them, but you're certainly familiar with what's called a snitch.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you're perceived as a snitch
I
in
got
prison,
beat up for that
what
in
does mean?
school a lot.
It normally doesn't go well. I mean, normally if there was somebody that could be considered a snitch, they would probably, other offenders would try to extort them or harm them in some.
So you don't want to be labeled as a snitch in prison, correct?
No.
Okay. No further questions. Oh, sorry, one more. Let me show you this document. Take a minute, just look at that.
Is that labeled as A?
Defendant's Exhibit 1.
How
Oh, you want A? Okay. Are you familiar with that?
The size of the cells, yes, sir.
Okay. So I obtained that from John Tabor. Are you familiar with John Tabor?
Yes.
Okay. And can you describe what that document is?
The document is showing the measurements and where everything is majority of the time placed in the cell.
So that's a fair and accurate diagram of dimensions of a J-block cell.
Yes.
And with regard to that one, that's actually kind of a mirror image of what Weatherington's cell is, correct? Because the bed was on the left. When you go through the door, Weatherington's bed was on the left.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And on this diagram that was provided, the bed's on the right. Okay. I don't know how well you can see that. The dimensions. Okay. So in looking at this, the cell is 6 feet wide. We can tell that from the dimension next to the window, correct? 17 inches or 1.5 feet approximately.
Yes, sir.
So that aisle between the footlockers and the bed, if you take 2.5 takes up 40. That's only about 2 feet wide. Would that be accurate?
Roughly, yes.
So it's pretty tight in there.
Yes.
Okay. No further questions.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions for Officer Lay at this time, reduce them to writing. Remember my instructions, do not put any identifying information, your name or your juror number on the card. Everyone must turn in a card. So if you don't have any questions, simply put none or no questions, and then do not discuss or display any proposed question with any other member of the jury. All right, Officer Lay, the jury has just a few questions. I'm going to read them and you'll answer them, and the attorneys may have follow-up questions, okay?
Yes, sir.
Where was Weatherington's cellmate during the night?
In the cell.
Is the
did it.
commissary stolen usually something more than food?
Yes, sir.
Is there greater punishment for stuff versus food?
The amount of restitution that they would have to pay.
Any
Restitution?
questions based on the jury's questions?
Is it fair, though, that is food something that can be stolen
Yes.
and traded for?
Yes.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you may step down. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 12:46, and we are going to break 1 hour for lunch. The court has a docket at 1 o'clock, so I'm going to take care of that. So when you leave, remember my instructions about discussing the case with each other or with anyone, or allowing anyone to discuss it with you in your presence. Do not begin to form any opinions about the case yet. When you return to the courthouse, Justice showed you the safeguard.
Right.
Aw, this is a fun murder trial.
All right, anything else?
No, Your
All
Honor.
right, I'll see you right back here at 1:45.
Joe just gonna go get Popeyes, I bet.
Here's the before the court with her counsel, Mr. Gibbs, Mr. Harris, on behalf of the state of Ohio. All right, Ms. Bell, your attorney had filed a motion for intervention in lieu of conviction, so in a moment, you'll be asked to change your plea to guilty to the 2 counts of.
Oops. This is just the after lunch he does a few cases. So forgot to remove those. So that's Ogletree's family in the back there. That is really sad because it appears that he had a very close family.
Thank you. Please be seated. All right, welcome back, everyone. Thank you for coming back when asked. And everyone was able to follow my instruction over the lunch break, correct? All right, very good. Ms. Nicholson, call your next witness.
Jennifer Caponeri.
The victim. I believe this is the family of the victim here. This guy on the left just made a sign of the cross. Mark.
You stay standing, face me, and raise your right hand.
Yeah.
You swear affirm the testimony
Sorry.
you're giving these proceedings, the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
No, yeah, you're right.
Please,
Our
water
case,
if you need
sorry.
it, that's the screen.
May I proceed?
Please.
Could you please state your name, spelling your last name for the record?
Jennifer Caponeri,
really?
Capaneri,
And where are you currently employed?
Please
Warren
tell me
Correctional
you
Institution,
didn't.
In what capacity?
registered nurse.
How long have you been a registered nurse?
Going on 30 years,
And how long have you been a registered nurse at Lebanon Correctional Institution?
25 years.
What are your job duties and responsibilities as a registered nurse at Lebanon Correctional?
Just general nursing care, assist the doctors, pass meds, insulin, respond to medical emergencies.
So fair to say you operate as a registered nurse, it's just in the prison institution?
Yes.
Deal with medical emergencies that could be like heart attacks or medical emergencies of that nature?
Yes, heart attacks, intoxication, injuries. Yeah.
Runs the gamut. And how are you notified of a medical emergency?
Generally over the radio. They call over the radio.
Okay. And what happens when a medical emergency call comes in?
2 nurses respond with emergency equipment, stair chair,
What kind of emergency equipment do you respond with?
stretcher, stair chair. We have an emergency bag, oxygen, AED, all kinds of medical supplies.
And what kind of information do you have when you're making that initial response?
It varies. Sometimes it'll be specific. Sometimes it'll just be medical emergency.
Would that dictate what you respond with if you're given
no.
more information?
No, we still respond with all the equipment.
And when a medical emergency is called, do you automatically call for external medical response as well, or do you wait to do that?
There may have been times where a squad is called before, but generally we go assess the situation
And then call. So it's fair to say there's some medical emergencies you're unable to handle within the institution. I want to turn your attention to the morning of December 7th of 2023. What shift would you have been working that day?
First shift,
Which is what?
6 a.m. to 2 p.m.
And were you called to a medical emergency on the morning of December 7th, 2023 at Lebanon Correctional?
Yes.
Where was that emergency, or where was that medical emergency located?
I can't recall the block.
Was it J block?
Oh, that's probably correct.
And how long does it take you to respond to a medical emergency within the prison?
We have 4 minutes. It's a 4-minute response, but we were probably there in less than a minute.
So by policy, you have 4
Yes.
minutes to respond? And you said that 2 medical staff, 2 nurses always go on a call?
Yes.
Was that true on the morning of December 7th?
Yeah.
And talk a little bit about the equipment you take. You said you have a stair chair and a stretcher. What other kind of medical equipment do you have?
Emergency bag with an AED, bandage supplies, blood pressure cuff, stethoscope, blood sugar equipment, oxygen.
What is an AED?
Automatic external defibrillator.
And what's the purpose of that?
For use in CPR, resuscitate a person with retardus.
You're talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I need you to keep your voice up for the folks in the back can hear you too, please.
To use it with CPR.
So on the morning of December 7th, what do you observe as you arrive to the scene of the medical emergency?
The patient was lying in bed. His hair was over his face. There was blood on his face, head
It
area,
was emo.
and the upper portion of the bed. There's a large amount of blood.
So he was still on the bed when you arrived. What do you do at that point?
There was just one officer in there. He was getting someone to help get him down. I attached the AED to him, and there were no shocks indicated.
What does that mean?
That means there's no shockable rhythm, like the attack, something like that.
Yeah, did you get that?
I'm sorry.
You got to speak
I'm
up. I'm sorry.
So when
Court
there's no
reporter.
shockable rhythm, what do you mean by that?
It's like Hella yelling at me with my
There's certain,
soundboard.
there's certain electrical activity of the heart that is shockable, and some that is not. It's more like an arrhythmia that can be shocked back into a normal rhythm that it would shock the person.
Okay. But on December 7th, there was no shock advised. Based on the no shock advised, what do you do at that point?
They got him off the bed. We initiated, called a squad, initiated CPR.
Do you leave the AED on the patient?
Yes.
What other observations do you make about that individual as you're waiting for the shock to advise or you're waiting for him to be taken off the bed?
He was cool to the touch. No signs of life.
Did you believe the victim was deceased at that point based on your training and experience?
He appeared to be, but I can't call that.
That's not your job,
Yes.
right? So you started CPR.
Yes.
And you said you called for EMS.
Yes.
Did they eventually arrive?
Yes.
Do you recall approximately how long it took them from when you first entered the cell?
Was maybe 15 minutes or less.
In your experience, is that pretty standard?
Yes, they have to get through all the security to get back to the blocks.
And so are you or other staff performing CPR that entire time period?
Yes.
I'm going to show you 2 photographs that have been previously identified as State's Exhibit 1 and 2. May I approach, Aaron?
Yes.
Take a look at those 2 photographs. I'm going to ask generally if you recognize what's depicted in those photographs.
Yes, this is the patient that responded to the emergency.
And permission to publish, Aaron?
Yes.
Is that how the patient was when you arrived at the cell?
I believe so, yes.
And that is the large amount of blood that you indicated?
Yes. He may have had a blanket over him initially, but yes.
This is generally how you found him. And is this the position that he was in when you first placed the AED?
Yes, he was on, yes.
And State's Exhibit 2? There's an arrow. What are we looking at in this photograph?
That's me performing compressions and Nurse Quincy bagging the patient.
Okay, so you're the one we see in the black jacket
Yes.
performing chest compressions. What information did you relay to EMS when they arrived?
That we responded to an unresponsive inmate, and he had no signs of life or no shocks during the entirety of our efforts.
Was the AED still on when EMS arrived?
Yes.
I might have just one moment. Aaron. And the patient that you arrived to the medical emergency on, was that an inmate by the name of Marquise Weatherington?
Yes.
I have no further questions. Aaron.
Cross?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if you have any questions for Nurse Capilleri, please reduce them to writing. Remember my instructions, everyone must turn in a card. If you don't have any questions, simply put none or no questions. Do not discuss or display any proposed question with any other member of the jury. All right, Ms. Capilleri, the members of the jury have no questions for you, so you may stand down. Next witness, please.
Corey Gerdeman.
Come on, Corey. Come on down. You're the next contestant in this murder trial.
Standing, raise your right hand. You swear from the testimony you give in these proceedings to be the truth, the whole truth, water needed, and such great fashion. Bring me out.
May I proceed?
Please.
Please state your name, spelling your last name for the record.
Corey Gerdeman. Last name is G-E-R.
What the hell? Like, this guy's young, too.
M-A-N.
And where are you currently employed?
Turtle Creek Township Fire Department.
And what's your position with the Turtle Creek Township Fire Department?
I'm currently a captain with the fire department.
Oh, this is the I Like Turtles kid.
And how long have you been with the Turtle Creek Township Fire Department?
Just over 3 years.
Are you also a paramedic?
I am.
And what training, can you talk a little bit about your training that qualifies you to be a firefighter paramedic?
For the firefighter side of it, in the state of Ohio, we have to get a certification through the state of Ohio requiring a minimum of 240 hours of classroom and hands-on training. And for the paramedic side, that is also stated by the state of Ohio. For several hours of classroom learning, programs usually take between a year and a half, depending on the schedule of the training. And that is both classroom learning as well as numerous in-hospital field clinicals and ride time with other 911 agencies.
And do you hold any licensure?
I do. I hold a state of Ohio license as a paramedic and a state of Ohio license as a level 2 firefighter.
And how often do you have to renew those licenses?
Every 3 years.
And do you have continuing education requirements to maintain those licenses?
We do.
And are you current in those continuing education?
Yes, I am.
What are your job duties and responsibilities as a firefighter paramedic?
As the fire side goes, it is fire suppression as well as rescue operations, situations such as auto accidents, as well as any other calls that the public gives to us for assistance. For the medical side, we respond to medical emergencies varying from illnesses to trauma for patients of all ages and transport them to the hospital if the situation allows.
And what would you say the split is in how much you perform your firefighter duties versus how much you perform your paramedic duties?
With this department, it's about 80% medical calls and 20% fire-related calls.
And there are 2 prisons located in Warren County, is that correct?
That's correct.
Do they both fall within the Turtle Creek Township Fire Department's jurisdiction?
Yes, I do.
Looks like the only
Approximately how
firefighter that
often
could
do you
not
respond
get
to
laid at a
prisons for medical
bar.
calls?
It can very well say that we respond there several times a month, probably at least 1 to 2 times per week.
Seriously, dude, could you pick the worst type
And what
of
do you
glasses
typically
possible?
dispatch to the prisons for?
Those calls vary as well. Can involve anything from traumatic injuries to medical calls involving known patient conditions such as seizure disorders, as well as medical complaints for things like overdoses or traumatic injuries, falls, cuts, things like that.
So fair to say you could respond out there for injuries related to an assault or for a heart attack?
That's correct.
And everything in between?
Everything in between.
When you respond out to the prison, can you walk the jury through what it takes for you to get into the prison to respond to a call?
So when we get to the prison, we have to pull up to whichever designated entrance that they tell us. Most of the time that is the front entrance to the prison. Then we have to walk through their security procedures where we have to be screened, stop to go through their gate system.
I have to bend over
to
and
not allow
cough.
any unauthorized
I like
entry or
that
exit.
part.
We're escorted by corrections staff the entire time as we're brought either to the patient's location if they're still in a cell, or the infirmary. We're brought to those locations by the staff to where we can start to give our medical care.
When you respond out to the prison, typically are you responding to the infirmary or are you responding to a cell within a housing unit?
Approximately 75% of the times to the infirmary.
And so when you get a call and you're dispatched directly to a housing unit, what does that indicate to you based on your experience?
That indicates to us that whatever condition the patient has at that time is something more critical, that they have not been able to move that patient from their housing location to the infirmary.
So I want to turn your attention to the morning of December 7th of 2023. Were you working that morning?
I was.
And what was your shift, or how long had you been on?
I had come on duty at 6 a.m. that morning, and my shift ended at 6 a.m. the following morning.
So you were at the relative start of a 24-hour shift.
Correct.
And did you receive a dispatch to Lebanon Correctional Institution that morning?
We did.
Do you recall approximately what time that dispatch came in?
I do not recall.
What is your response time? Well, strike that. Where is your fire station located?
Our location, the station I was operating out of that day, is on State Route 741, directly across the street from Armco Park, or about a quarter mile south of the intersection of Green Tree Road.
And approximately what is your response time once you receive a dispatch to the prison from that fire station?
From that fire station is between 4 and 6 minutes.
And was that the case on the morning of December 7th as well?
It was.
What information did you receive through dispatch?
Through dispatch, we were alerted that it was an unconscious person, and that was the only patient information we were given prior to our arrival.
Did you receive any additional information on the way?
Negative.
When you arrived at the prison, all you knew is it was an unconscious individual.
Correct.
Is it fair to say you arrived at the cell block just before 8 a.m.?
Yes, that's incorrect.
And what observations did you make when you arrived?
When I arrived, when they brought us to the patient location, I saw the patient laying on the catwalk in front of his housing room with numerous medical staff on scene, as well as corrections officers rendering medical aid to the patient.
So he was already on the floor outside of the cell.
Correct.
And was there an AED attached to him?
Yes, there was.
And what's the purpose of that?
A AED, or automated external defibrillator, is designed to bring the heart from a disorganized electrical rhythm back into an organized electrical rhythm.
And so did you learn whether the AED had advised whether a shock was indicated?
I had been told when I asked the medical staff what care had been provided so far, if the AED had delivered a shock. They told me that it had advised them through the audible prompts that no shock was advised. While I was standing there, I did hear myself say that no shock was advised.
And what was the condition of the patient when you arrived? What observations did you make about his condition?
When I saw the patient, I saw obvious signs that the patient
He's
had been
dead.
deceased, such as stiff limbs or rigor mortis, also dependent lividity, which is where the blood has begun to pool due to gravity, and a patient who is deceased does not have circulation.
Did you see any obvious sign of injury?
I did notice numerous areas of trauma on the patient in various locations.
Did you notice any blood?
I did. I noticed dried blood, as well as liquid blood on the patient, as well as on the floor leading back into his housing assignment.
Did you notice any discoloration in his skin or his lips?
I did. Both his skin, his lips, and fingernails were appearing dusky and blue or cyanotic, which indicates a lack of oxygen to the cells.
And what did that indicate to you?
That indicated that he did not have a current circulation of blood in his body to transport oxygen to those cells.
And did you make any observations about his eyes?
Eyes were slightly open. They had begun to be clouded over, as is typical with a patient who is deceased, and the pupils were enlarged. We call them fixed and dilated, which is also another sign of a patient who is deceased.
And you indicated that there was blood on the floor leading into his cell, correct?
Correct.
Did you make any other observations about the surrounding area that you could see?
When I glanced into the cell to take a general observation of the area, I had seen where the patient had been found in the upper bunk, and what appeared to be where the correction staff had removed him from the bunk and moved him out of the cell to begin rendering aid.
And what observations did you make about that top bunk?
There was normal bedding up there. The sheets had been removed. There was some blood stains to the mattress and what I believe was the pillow or pillowcase, and also on the side metal railing of the bed where it looked like he had been removed from that bunk onto the floor.
Okay, so you make all of those initial observations when you first arrive. What do you do next?
Further asked the staff about their care. When they noticed the last time that the patient was seen acting at his baseline, which had been the previous night. Asked about any other care, if they had ever felt a palpable heartbeat with the patient, which was negative from the medical and any correction staff. Asked them about any other pertinent information about the patient, any other care they had performed, and then I further based any care, or in this case, to not continue care for this patient.
Did you yourself make physical contact with the victim to check for any signs of life?
I did. I felt the patient's carotid arteries to see if I could feel a palpable pulse.
I felt his crotch.
Fall with breathing, any other signs of breathing, nostril movement, anything like that, which I did not observe.
Did you make any other observations when you touched the patient?
The patient's skin was cool to the touch, and also there was
Did you
no
check his
capillary
temperature by
refill
feeling his armpit?
on the skin or the fingernail bed, which indicates return of circulation.
Works in
which
South
requires the
Carolina.
patient to have a heartbeat and circulation in the body.
I know, Scott.
Based on your training and experience and your assessment of the victim when you arrived, was there any aid that you could provide?
At that time, there was nothing that we could provide to resuscitate the patient.
And what did you do at that point?
At that point, I followed our standing orders and our protocols, and I radioed our dispatch center for the current time. When they gave me that current time, I pronounced the patient deceased at that time.
And was that patient identified as Marquise Weatherington?
Yes.
Once you've declared a patient deceased, do you remove their body from the scene?
We do not unless asked for assistance by the correction staff.
Did you move the body at all in this case?
We did not.
If I could have just one moment, Your Honor.
Okay.
I have nothing further.
Cross?
No, Your Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions for Captain Hardiman, please reduce them to writing. Remember my prior instructions, do not discuss or display any proposed questions with any other member of the jury. Hey, Captain, the members of the jury, there's just one question here, and I'm going to read it. You'll answer it, and the attorney might have follow-up. Okay, so are calls similar to this common in correctional facilities?
I cannot comment on any correctional facility outside of the two that we provide care for. We have responded to calls of this nature, but I would not call them a common occurrence.
All right, any questions, Ms. Nicholson, based upon the jury's questions?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. You may step down.
Thanks, sir.
Call your next witness.
Statement call, Corrections Officer Potts.
So if you call me. So witness stand there. Just stay standing. When you get up there, raise your nothing but the truth. So help you God. So help you God. See, water if you need it. Let the touch screen. If anything, you point anything out.
Okay, proceed, Your Honor, please. Sir, please state your name. Spell your last name for the record.
Jimmy Potts, Potts,
Where are you employed?
Lebanon Corrections,
How long have you been employed at Lebanon Correctional Facility?
just under 8 years.
What is your current position, sir?
Corrections officer. I am what's now called emergency utility.
Okay, what does that mean when you say emergency utility?
It's an ability for an officer to be utilized outside of blocks where people would be escorts or assisting with court runs, things like that.
Okay. And what was your position back in December of 2023?
I was a relief officer.
And if you could describe for the jurors, when you say relief officer, what does that mean?
Relief officer is someone that doesn't have a bid post. They're able to pick where they go each day.
So there's previous testimony, there's multiple different housing units in Lebanon Correctional, is that correct?
Correct.
And typically a bid officer is assigned to just one housing unit. They report to that unit every day. They're familiar with the people on the block, is that right?
Correct.
You, as a relief officer, get to kind of pick or choose which housing unit you're going to assist with that day?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So directing your attention back to the morning of December 7th, 2023, what block did you pick that day?
J. John.
Do you regret that choice today?
Not really.
Let me ask you, on December 7th, 2023, does it start off as a typical day?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you remember what time you went on shift?
Clocked in about 5:30 in the morning.
And did anything seem out of the ordinary that morning?
No, sir.
Okay. Around approximately 7:40, 7:41 in the morning, are you alerted to an issue at inmate Marquise Weatherington's cell in 2J3?
believe so. That was the time.
Tell the jurors, how did you get alerted to that location?
An inmate that was on range 2 came down the range and hollered at the block regular, Officer Lay at the time, and said, I believe you guys need to come check on this guy. I think he might be dead.
And when he makes that statement to Corrections Officer Lay, what do you do?
Me and Officer Lay both head up to the cell to check and see what was going on, to check on the inmate.
Describe for the jurors, what is the scene like when you enter the cell?
When I walked in the cell, the individual was laying face down on the top rack, covered with a blanket. No shoes on, his toes were sticking out from underneath the blanket, and his hands and arms were crossed underneath his face as if he was sleeping.
Was his cellmate Jason Addison in the cell at the time?
Not at the time.
What did you do as you entered?
As I entered behind my partner, and we checked on the inmate, or the individual at the time.
And what were you able to determine?
A medical emergency was needed to be called, and as such, we did call them.
Describe for the jurors the condition of Mr. Wetherington.
He was very stiff. The skin was very clammy and cold. As I tried to roll him over to his back so we could try to attempt CPR, try to get him off the rack if need be, he was very, very stiff. Couldn't hardly move him.
Was there any type of smell or odor in the cell?
Yes, there was a smell of blood, and honestly, I'm not sure what the other smell was, but it was pretty bad.
Okay. After you roll him over, are you able to see, is there blood in the bunk?
Yes, there was blood all over the top rack.
Okay. And by that point, in a medical emergency had already been called?
Correct.
What happens next?
Myself and another officer get him rolled over, get him off the rack. After the nurse come in and placed the individual to check for pulse and see if there was any.
Sorry guys. The fight happened earlier that day in the cell, and he got a head injury and I think succumbed later. But at some time the defendant helped lift him up and get him on the top bunk. So that's kind of like how his DNA supposedly got on there.
Any shock needed. Once we got him down off the rack, we were able to get him. They attempted to get CPR going, but they could not with the condition of the cell where the rack and the shelving was in the way of being able to do a proper compressions. So we were able to move him out of the cell to be able to attempt life-saving measures.
With the difficult to get him off of that top bunk?
Very.
Okay. So ultimately, you were able to get him down, and then he was removed to the ground inside of the cell, and then ultimately out into the range area so that CPR and other life-saving measures. Did you have an opportunity to observe? Could you see any injuries on Mr. Wetherington?
Yes, there was a very sizable gash on the top of his head.
But he had dreads. How can you see?
Sir, at the time that you entered the cell, did you have a body-worn camera on?
I did.
If you could explain to the jurors, where's your body-worn camera located?
My body-worn camera sits in the middle of my chest.
Okay. And did it capture, after you'd entered the cell, your actions inside of the cell all the way through, ultimately, the EMTs arriving and pronouncing the victim deceased?
Yes, it did.
You've had an opportunity to review that body-worn camera footage, is that correct?
Correct.
And does it fairly and accurately capture everything that took place from the time that it was turned on and when you were inside of that cell?
From the time it was turned on, correct.
Your Honor, permission to place State's Exhibit number 5.
No objection. All right, play.
This could be pretty graphic, guys. Just a heads up, everybody in the chat. If you're squeamish, you may not want to watch.
He was laying there face down, and we all thought he was asleep.
He's murdered? Sir?
Once they put it on.
I need gloves. I need gloves.
One glove.
Down in the right-hand drawer, I need gloves.
There's one left. Lock him down, get him out.
Lock him down!
This guy.
Gloves.
Boy, this is very graphic, guys. God's sakes. Okay, we're about to see it. No, they'll show it. There, whoa. How about a little warning, for Christ's sake? Good Lord, dude. Hey, Tracy, how are you?
I'm trying. He's
Just, it is a little graphic. They show kind of the body cam, so just a heads up, everybody.
I got this on.
They're trying. But I wonder how long.
The blood's fresh.
Yeah, that's a lot of blood. Like, ignoring the comparisons to the lack of blood in the Koberger case, that much blood, you'd think somebody would have noticed something, been a little more concerned. I mean, I get there's a whole no snitching thing, but I mean, that's a lot of blood.
We gotta do that.
No, yeah. Where you looking at?
Hey, Maddie.
I would get turned around. We gotta come up and stand up here.
That's it.
I'm not cooking up in here. Yeah. You got it on? They didn't have that officer do it yet. Yeah, we need help getting them out of here. Don't touch anything.
Don't touch it.
Yeah, she does.
Hey, Jim.
Hold on, hands off.
We gotta get them down.
I got you. Hey, Lane, if you need to.
Oh, thank you so much.
Let's get him off then. Hey, can we take the defibrillator off for now or no?
I try to get shot gloves. Can we remove that and get them down on flat surface?
Yeah.
Hey, hold on, hang on. We're going down, you're waiting.
It's a tiny cell. Fine, take a picture of the dead man. Okay, that's kind of ghoulish, buddy.
I don't know how to get him off this top rack.
Okay, now they're trying to get him off. Thank you so much, Erica, for gifting 5 Dolly Talk memberships. Thank you. That was very generous of you, and it's very much appreciated. Welcome to prison, Dolly. Yeah, well, they needed the machine to tell them no shock advised. Yeah, I mean, from what I know, they're pretty much like automated now. And it's just like the machine does all the work. It tells them like when to do the shock or not. Like you let the machine do it for you. Yeah. May's middle fingers. Yeah. It's really hard. I mean, it's just very sad because it feels like if they got him help, he could have figured it out, or they could have saved him. Yes, I'm aware it was for evidence. So welcome, Aisha Nelson.
Hold on. I move up. Yeah.
Can somebody, would you need a bag or a bag of and then, you know, put another, okay. Do the compression. Bag up your back there. Yeah. Do you have oxygen? Yeah, I want oxygen. Can you hold this here? She want to load? Okay. She want to load. Yeah. Hey, we're gonna track you guys in the hall here. Yep.
Amethyst or anything, blood everywhere.
Yeah, it's right there. I do want to come in.
I mean, twisted out.
Can you, I'll go get the keys.
Tell me when to take a picture. Give me my video. Am I good? Did I keep going?
That's what I was looking for. But if there is, it's probably on its head.
Continue. Is it shocking? Am I good?
No, it's not shocking.
Press it. Or what do I do?
I'm shocking here. Don't touch.
Surely it is.
It's not shocking. No.
Start. What's body temperature?
His arm was
It's not your arm.
Where I got him off the rack. Hey, Kurt, got him off the rack. I'm just standing here like this, trying to stay out of the blood on the ground. We ever have the phone?
I mean, he was like working
Unless it's a tab, it's from his stomach, but I don't know for sure. Because I haven't really got it examined his head, but I don't see any wounds anywhere else. But there's blood everywhere. Do you think there's something else? It could be a GI.
We're going to stop right there. Sir, is it accurate that life-saving measures continue being performed on Mr. Wetherington until the EMTs arrived and ultimately pronounced that he was deceased?
Yes, sir.
Does that video fairly and accurately depict the life-saving efforts that were made by the staff at Lebanon Correctional to try to resuscitate Mr. Wetherington?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You could see in the video, there was, I believe, a member of the prison staff was taking some photographs as well. Do you know why that would be the case?
For evidence of the scene.
Okay.
For their OnlyFans.
One last thing I wanted to talk to you about. As you can tell, you're obviously in that cell. We got a shot from your body-worn camera. It's a little bit tighter of an area. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this. Have you responded, unrelated to this case, to other fights where there have been multiple people fighting in a cell that size?
Yes, sir.
How many people have you seen fighting in a cell that size before?
Anywhere from 4 to 5.
Okay, so multiple people can fit inside there and fight. if they so choose.
Yes, sir.
I don't have any further questions.
If
Your
they
Honor.
choose to partake in
Your
the
Honor.
fisticuffs.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you have any questions for Officer Potts, please reduce them to writing. Remember my instruction about do not discuss or display any proposed question with any other member of the jury. All right, Officer, the jury has just one question that I'll read and the attorneys may have follow-up, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Where was his cellmate in the morning?
At chow or somewhere.
Well, I'm guessing that the question, and again, I don't want to interpret too much, but I'm guessing at the time during you guys going into the cell. I think they want to know where was the cellmate?
If memory serves, I believe he was at rec. If I remember correctly, but.
All right. Any questions based on the jury's question?
There you are.
No. All right, you may step down. Thank you.
Stay with
He was attacked the day before, and the defendant helped move him. And the defendant, I believe his cellmate, helped move him to the top bunk from the ground. That's how he got a little DNA on him.
That's a touchscreen if they actually point anything out.
Good afternoon, sir.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm going to ask you to keep your voice up as loud as you can, okay? So we need the people all the way in the back to be able to hear you, all right? All right. If you could please state your name and spell your first and last name for the record.
Shaquiz Akeem, AZAHQKEEM.
Mr. Akeem, you're currently in prison, is that correct?
Mhm.
You were in prison
Correct.
for taking the identity of another and felonious assault for convictions back in 2021, right? All right. You have to answer out loud because she's recording everything.
Yeah.
Sorry. What facility are you currently located at?
Ross.
Ross Correctional?
Yes, sir.
And are you in an honors facility at that location?
Yes.
If you could tell the jurors, what does it mean to be in an honors facility?
Been ticket free for close to a year.
Do you get any special privileges as a result of being in an honors facility?
Couple extra hour programs to help you go home early. That's it.
Okay. I want to talk to you about an incident that happened back in Lebanon Correctional Institution back in December of 2023. Were you housed at Lebanon Correctional at that time?
Yes.
Do you recall which housing unit or block you were in?
This guy's Sling Blade.
J. John.
Okay. For assignments.
I was a school tutor and a porter.
Okay. If you could tell the jurors, how do you become a school tutor and a porter?
Take a test. The porter was just cleaning up after school.
Okay. How long had you been a school tutor?
Close.
During that period in December of 2023, were you familiar with an inmate by the name of Marquise Weatherington?
Yeah.
And did you know him by a nickname? Do you remember what the nickname was?
That's what we call it from time to time.
Lorraine?
Yeah.
Okay. Had you ever heard anyone refer to him as Stutters?
Yep.
Okay. And so he was someone that you knew from J Block?
Mhm.
Were you particularly close to him, or you just knew him kind of from the block?
Just known from the block and to play basketball.
Okay. Did you know Weatherington's cellmate, Jason Addison?
I tutored him in school.
Okay, so you tutored Mr. Addison?
Mhm.
All right, so you were a little
Tutored
more
him,
familiar with him,
okay.
I would assume?
Mhm.
And then, were you familiar with an individual by the name of Anthony Cummings?
Mhm.
Sorry, you have to
Oh,
answer out loud.
yes, yes.
Did he have a nickname?
I reckon.
BJ.
Yeah.
Do you see BJ or Anthony Cummings in the courtroom today?
Yes,
Could you point him out?
The
Describe
defendant's
what he's wearing.
nickname is BJ.
right there.
And what's he wearing? For the record, just we got to take it down.
Stay blue shirt.
Identifying the defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
And were you familiar with him from just him being on J Block as well?
Yeah,
Were you close to him at all?
somewhat.
Okay. And finally, did you know a James Ogletree?
Not really.
Okay. I think have you heard the nickname Neuter before?
Like what you do to dogs?
I believe it's with a D, but is that a nickname you were familiar with for Mr. Ogletree?
I guess, yeah, yes.
Okay. And but I assume based on the way you're answering the question, you weren't particularly close to Mr. Ogletree at all?
No.
Okay. Prior to this incident that we're going to talk about that happened on December 6th, did you know any of these individuals to have a beef or problems with one another?
No.
Okay. I want to direct your attention to the evening of December 6th, 2023, around 7 p.m., a little bit after that. Do you recall what you were doing at that time?
a graduation ceremony. I'm just coming back from work.
When you say passing out graduation pictures, is that from your assignment as a school tutor?
Yeah, some people ain't make it down to grab their picture.
Okay. And so at that time on December 6th, you were going around passing out the photos from graduation. Okay. At some point, just after 7 o'clock, is your attention drawn to cell 2J3, which was inmate Weatherington's cell?
Yes.
Okay. Why was your attention drawn there? What do you recall happening? Or why did you first look towards that cell?
I was looking for people, period, see some stuff and keep walking.
Okay. And at some point, did you look at 2J3 in Mr. Weatherington's cell?
Yes.
If you could, tell the jurors what you saw when you looked inside of Mr. Weatherington's cell.
Seeing a fight.
Okay. Tell the jurors exactly what you saw to the best of your recollection.
It was. Everybody, it was a fight. People was fighting.
Okay. And was everybody involved in that fight?
To an extent.
So let's first talk about this. How many people did you see inside of the cell?
3.
Okay. So there was Stutters, Mr. Weatherington, is that correct?
Yeah.
There was BJ, and then there was the other individual we've identified as Mr. Ogletree, right? When you looked in, and I think from the video, you looked in a couple of different times. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about the first time that you look in. Where is Stutters? Where's Mr. Weatherington?
On his rack.
He's on his rack. And is that the top bunk or bottom bunk?
On the bottom bunk.
And where is Mr. Ogletree?
On top of him.
Okay. And what are the two of them doing?
Fighting.
And is one on top of the other?
Mm-hmm.
Who's on top of who?
Ogletree is on top of the Stutters.
Okay. And can you see what is he doing? Is he throwing punches? Is he grabbing him? Is he
like throwing punches and choking him? And like that was that.
Okay. And where is BJ? Where's Mr. Cummings?
At the door, making sure he just get out of here.
Okay. And did you
Wait,
see
Mr.
him
Cummings'
going back and forth
nickname is
to where they
BJ.
were at the cell and going back to the door?
I mean, I seen him punching maybe twice.
BJ punched.
Yeah, while the dude was on top of him.
Okay, so let me make sure that I understand. Weatherington's on the bunk, Ogletree's on top of him, kind of choking him, and BJ, Mr. Cummings, is going back and forth towards the door, and you see him throw a couple of punches at Mr. Weatherington? Okay. How many times do you think he comes back and forth towards the door?
I don't know.
Stop saying come.
Do you see anything else inside of the cell when you're looking at it?
It's people. That was that.
Just the three of them, though, right? Mr. Addison, the person you tutored, the cellmate, he was not inside of the cell at all during that time?
No.
Okay. And you said at that time when you were observing it, it appeared all three people, everyone was alive.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was seeing. Everybody was alive.
Okay.
Hey. How are you?
That was not my voice.
Hi.
Hi. Why is this man snitching?
They get into it. He does not want to be there. He's actually a prison snitch who doesn't want to be a prison snitch. It's kind of refreshing.
What? So he's transitioning from being a prison snitch to not a prison snitch,
Well,
but
he's
the way he's
forced
doing
to.
it is by snitching?
Well, he's kind of forced to be there.
Oh,
No, he addresses it later.
he addresses his addiction to prison addiction? He's gonna get a buddy person.
There's several people. I mean, it did happen in a prison, so it's kind of hard to get away from other prison.
There's no excuse
people.
for this shit.
Well, he's not getting
There is-
anything for his testimony.
He's gonna get something for his testimony. You wait.
We should look afterwards and see. That would be interesting.
He will get something for his testimony probably this afternoon.
We'll see.
When you looked in and you saw this going on, could you hear anything? Were any statements being made? Was anybody yelling? Anything like that?
No, you hear the rack and there's punches.
I'm sorry, keep your voice.
You hear the rack moving and you hear punches.
Okay. So you could hear the rack moving and you could hear punches.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, when you saw that and you saw that there was a fight going on in there, did you alert a CO to that?
No.
And why is that?
I don't know what they was fighting for.
Okay. You can be fighting for, I assume, a lot of different reasons in prison?
Exactly. Could have slapped him before I got there.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said he could have slapped him before I got there. I don't know what was going on.
So you don't know what precipitated
Hell yes.
this, what started
Jim?
it. You just looked in and saw what you described for the jurors. Okay. At some point, do you remember seeing BJ or Mr. Cummings exit the cell carrying something?
Is there BJ Cummings?
I
Yeah.
can't necessarily say if he came directly from.
Yeah, it's
Did he make that name up, or did someone else
No,
make
no,
that
no.
name up for him? 'Cause
Someone,
he's a
I guess,
fucking
made that.
snitch.
No, somebody else made the nickname up for him, I believe.
Yeah, because he's
Anthony
a snitch.
Cummings, and yeah, his nickname is BJ.
Yeah. Because he's a snitch.
It's yeah.
In the cell, but I just know he had something in his hand.
Okay, at some point you saw him walking on the range with something in his hand.
Yeah.
Okay, but you don't know how he obtained it or what he was doing with it?
No.
Okay. Do you remember, did you see when Cummings and Ogletree left the cell together, or did you not see that?
I didn't see that.
Okay. Is it fair to say the only things that you observed is what you've told the jury here today?
Fight. Yeah.
Okay.
These are such white names.
Later on that evening, did Mr. Cummings come up and try to talk to you about what was going on?
Yes.
What did he say to you, if anything?
Felt bad. I can say that. He was in a panic and he felt bad.
Okay, so he was in a panic, he felt bad, but he said he knew that the dude wasn't moving?
Yeah.
Okay. What was your response to
I
that?
reckon. I walked out the cell. Just jail etiquette, I don't know.
Do you remember, do you talk to Mr. Cummings anymore that evening?
Not that I remember.
Okay. Did you ever go in and check on Mr. Wetherington that evening?
No.
Okay. But at that point, at least according to what Mr. Cummings told you, he said, dude wasn't moving. I want to direct your attention now to the next morning, December the 7th. I believe from the video, everyone kind of gets released around 7 in the morning to go to Chow or Rec or go wherever. Where did you go, sir?
Went to Chow, then I went to Rec.
Okay. While you were at either Chow or Rec, did you have an opportunity to talk to Mr. Cummings again?
Yes.
And what was did you go up to him? Did he come up to you?
He talked, he vented, and he basically, he was very remorseful for what he did. That's one thing I can't say. He kept saying I shouldn't.
Or did he talk about being remorseful for punching him?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he say why he did it?
No, not really.
Okay. Did he say whether he had checked on Wetherington that morning? Okay. At some point later that morning, is there a lockdown?
Yep, in the block, yeah.
In the block, yep.
And in the gym.
Is that when Mr. Wetherington's body was discovered?
I would assume we were in the gym.
Okay, so you couldn't see Wetherington's cell at the time of the lockdown?
No, I was in the gym. I was in a whole different part of the facility.
Okay. I have one moment, Your Honor. And then, sir, at some point that day, did investigators from the Ohio State Highway Patrol come and talk to you?
Yes.
And did you cooperate with them and tell them what you saw?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to ask you, at some point after this incident, you wrote a letter to our office, is that correct? I want to show you a copy of that letter.
Listen to this.
He wrote a letter to who?
He wrote a letter to the prosecutors. They're going to read the letter now.
Okay.
I'm going to show you
Just
State's
wait.
Exhibit number
Just
92. You can take a look at that. Do you recognize that letter?
Yeah.
Is that the letter that you wrote to our office? Okay. I'm going to publish this. Permission to publish, Your Honor?
Yes.
Shouldn't have done that.
Defendant's like, get your ass whooped for that.
Are you able to, can you see that on your screen, sir? Are you able to read that for the jury?
Okay. To whom it may concern, I am writing on behalf of the following case numbers: 24CR42028, 24CR42029, in regard to the States versus Anthony Scott Cummings. I've been subpoenaed to present a testimony on the state's behalf and would like to say my presence would be inconveniencing the state as well as myself. I have no testimony to offer. I'm having a more than hard time trying to remember events that took place, and would especially ask for my name to be removed from the witness list as well as the subpoena list as well. Again, I have nothing to offer.
So he wrote a letter to the prosecutor being like, dude, get me the F off the list. I don't want to testify. I don't know nothing. I know nothing. I see nothing.
I know nothing.
I see
And
nothing.
my butt is already sore. It's already sore. Please make it stop.
So,
Make
and then,
it
yeah, he's like,
stop.
yeah. So I don't know anything. And he doesn't remember anything. He doesn't know anything.
So anyway, that's that afternoon. They said it was that afternoon.
No, I think he wrote the letter later after he got subpoenaed to be here.
He said he'd been subpoenaed. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but he was interviewed that afternoon. Because they were investigating that day.
It must have been the day he was. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if it was the day it happened or it might have been the day later or something like that. But he'd been subpoenaed, right? Yeah. And
once he found out he was subpoenaed to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. So just imagine this, right? Like he's in that unit, and whoever is part of the defendant's little group,
yeah,
have gone and roughed him up a bit and gone, you fucking talk, man, and you're
yeah. I mean, I don't know if this was preemptive, trying to get ahead of it, saying I don't want to snitch, or if somebody coerced him, but he does not want to be there.
Some words would have been passed, let's say. Yeah. And he's gone and written a letter, very nicely written letter, going, oh, I'm having trouble remembering.
Yes.
I'm having trouble remembering. Yeah, my poor little memory. Wow.
Offer will be of no help towards the outcome of either trial. However, I do ask for correspondence as to being notified of my name being taken off the list as a witness. When the Highway Patrol came and spoke with me, they informed me that I'd be of no interest, help to their court proceedings, and assured me that I wouldn't and didn't have to testify. So with all due respect, can my name please be taken off the witness list as well as the subpoena list and my presence not be needed in regards to the cases mentioned? Once more, I don't have any information to offer, as well as I wouldn't be helpful to the.
I'm going to say that again for you.
Trial. My memory is failing me as well as.
Once more.
Since then, I've been in multiple physical altercations. I say that to say I have a hard enough time remembering last week, let alone something that has.
I've got the ass kicked out of me multiple times. My memory sucks. You don't need me. You don't want me.
No. I have. What do you say? I have trouble even remembering what happened last week.
Last week, yeah. This guy's going preemptive on the impeaching his own testimony.
I'm on so many drugs that I've smuggled into here. Sorry, I'll cross that out.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to write that.
Yeah. So yeah, the prosecutor's trying to get this out before cross.
Wow. Nothing to do with me. So with the utmost urgency, I ask to be removed from the witness list and subpoena list because I am of no help in the following matter. Please contact me.
Once again, I'm of no help.
From the list at your earliest availability, please, as well as thank you. Furthermore, in the event I am still asked to come testify, I think it be best for my attorney to contact the judge directly and let him know the circumstances.
And for my attorney to run to dad and be like, Dad, judge, he doesn't want to testify.
Furthermore, could you please let me know when I'm not going to be on the witness list? And please, by the way, I can't remember anything, and I've been beaten up a few times. And what's more? Can you please let me know when Lang send me a message and somehow smoke signal?
Kindest regard, my dearest regards.
Dearest
Good
regards,
sir.
Please take me off the witness.
I'll just go ahead and copy this letter and just send it to you 3 or 4 times to make sure you get it.
This is hilarious.
Answers of this letter and situation, and how I'd be of no help and inconvenience to the trial pending. And that's my name at the end.
Why did you write that
And
letter?
it just starts all over again.
it came out of nowhere, being subpoenaed for something that happened in, what would you say, 2023. Like I said, I got enough going on in my life. Y'all came down and seen me on the day of my mother's funeral. You told me,
My mother died.
I understand people need closure, but I don't feel as if like I can be of any help because I don't really know what people are asking. But I do know that what I seen was everybody was alive, and I understand that this is something hard to deal with and it's hard to, talk about. And like I don't want to be one of those people who is, just contributing to the hurt of somebody's mom, brother, son, none of that. And like I said, I'm going through my own things, and it's just, this happened so long ago, as well as it was a very unfortunate thing. And so I feel like to keep.
And I stubbed my toe. Stepped on a bee. My dog stepped on a bee.
Any further questions? Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, so you were in prison at LCI for felonious assault conviction and taking the identity of another.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and you said that you knew Wetherington as Lorraine.
Mm-hmm.
Is that because he's from Lorain County?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And do you know if who you call BJ or Anthony Cummings is from the same area?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Do you recall Wetherington and Cummings hanging out together on that block?
Yeah, it was cool. Everybody, it's prison. You hang out with everybody at least once.
Right. But you said Wetherington and Cummings were cool with each other?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you said you'd been in that block for 8 months roughly?
No, I had my job as a tutor and a porter for 8 months.
How long were you in that J block?
J dorm for like close to 2 years.
Yeah. And are you aware if neuter is a heartless felon?
No.
You don't know either way?
Yeah, no, I don't
Okay.
pay attention to all that.
And were you aware at the time that Wetherington's commissary?
I'm sorry?
Objection. Are you aware that neuter is a heartless felon?
No, it's a gang name. The name of a gang.
Heartless felon is a gang?
Yeah.
That's what they're called?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Aw, 2.0. Stopping in, saying hi, gotta run. Aw, thank you so much.
Oh, you're missing
Gina.
out, lady. This is great.
Yeah, this is a good one. I hope you're doing well. I know you've been busy. but Thank you. So yeah, if you hear like heartless felons, there's a couple different gangs, but the ones we're kind of dealing with here is the heartless felons that stole some stuff from another inmate, and they all got caught up in it.
And that's how this started, right?
Yeah, because if like gang steals from you and you don't go and try to fight a member of the gang about it, then you're looked at as weak and like prey. So you have to like stand up for yourself. Maybe you get your ass kicked. But so that's kind of what this whole thing was about. And next thing we know, this guy's dead. The next
No, I
morning.
understand. It's just I've never heard of that gang name before.
I hadn't either, actually. But I don't know, maybe it's like an Ohio thing, or I don't know.
It was getting stolen?
No.
Okay. So you testified that you saw BJ standing near that you saw BJ or Cummings at the door, and you said your words like, "Get out of here."
There's nothing really to see. Like he just, wave you off at the door.
Okay. And you did not tell the CO?
No.
Right. Because you wouldn't want to be
to do with me, and I was already doing something.
Okay. So then May 2nd comes along, and you write this letter to the state, the prosecutor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you state in that letter you're having more than a hard time trying to remember the events that took place, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And that's an accurate statement?
Mm-hmm.
And in that letter, you also stated, my memory's failing me as well, as since then I've been in multiple physical altercations, correct?
Yeah.
And that's a true statement?
Mm-hmm.
And you stated, I have a hard enough time remembering last week. You said that to the prosecutor?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a true statement?
Mm-hmm.
And you said, let alone something that has nothing to do with me.
Exactly.
That's true and accurate?
I just read that.
Okay, so on May 2nd, when you wrote this letter, you were having memory problems about various things.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Between
Memory
May
problems.
2nd and today, did the prosecutor or someone from the prosecutor's office meet with you?
Yeah.
When?
Right over there.
So you say over there,
Right. Mm-hmm.
gentleman, black suit, red tie, that's Steve Knippen.
Mm-hmm.
Met with him.
Mm-hmm.
Met with 3 of them.
Yeah.
How long did that conversation last?
Maybe an hour, a little bit over an hour.
Okay. And you told them at that time you're having memory problems, you don't want to testify.
Yeah.
So how did they get you to change?
From tape.
Okay. So did they imply that you'd get additional charges if you didn't testify?
No. I said I wasn't in trouble. No.
Okay. What other promises did they make to you?
I wasn't making any promises at all.
Okay. So you weren't made any promises. On May 2nd, you say I have bad memory.
Yeah.
You meet with the 3 of them for an hour.
Yeah.
They show you everything. And then now today you remember everything clearly.
I didn't say I remembered everything clearly. If you heard
from what you remember from a tape that the prosecutor showed you
of me.
So you are not testifying from your actual memories from December 6th of 2023.
I said I don't know what's going on. Like I said, I'm not really trying to be here.
So the memories you have of December 6th of 2023 is very fuzzy and confusing in your head. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that.
And it wasn't until the prosecutors showed you some recording that you watched and spent an hour with them. Now you have this recollection from that recording.
Yeah.
And that's what you're testifying today based on your recollection from that recording.
Yeah.
One moment here.
Okay, he's testifying from the recording.
No further questions.
Any redirect?
One moment, Your Honor.
Filthy criminals, can't trust them anyway.
What you told these jurors that you saw and that you heard, that is consistent with what you told the troopers on December the after.
Yeah.
Okay. So this isn't all of a sudden recently fabricated.
No.
You made these statements back on December the 7th, right the day after this incident happened, right when it was the freshest in your memory. And again, I don't think this can be understated. You don't want to be involved, right?
At all.
Let's not characterize the
Mr. Cummings,
testimony.
it sounded like was someone that was closer to you in prison than other people. Is that right?
For sure.
So I imagine it's not comfortable for you to be up here testifying, saying things when you know that that may not go well for Mr. Cummings.
Exactly.
I don't have anything further.
Any recross?
Briefly. So you just told me a minute ago that you don't have much recollection from December of 2023. Remember saying that? And then Mr. Knippen just asked you a leading question. If it was consistent, the testimony today was consistent with what you told the investigator in 1923, and now when he asks you a question and leads you.
Hold on.
So you just told me a minute ago.
He did not object to the leading question.
No, you need to object, dude. Sorry.
No. He let the prosecutor lead him and just throws it in the prosecutor's face here.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, exactly. But is there a jury?
Yeah.
But
so
you don't have much recollection from December of 2023.
Well,
remember saying that? And then Mr. Knippen just asked you a leading question. If it was consistent, the testimony today was consistent with what you told the investigator in 1923, and now when he asks you a question and leads you there, you agree with him, correct?
That's what I said. All right, yeah.
So what promises did they make you?
I keep saying promises, man. I didn't get promised nothing.
What did they tell you that they do for you?
Take me back today.
Okay, no further questions.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions for this witness, Mr. Hakeem, please reduce them to writing. Please remember my prior admonition, do not discuss or display any proposed questions
I miss
with any other member of the jury.
I guess he's trying to insinuate he's getting something.
All right, Mr. Aqueen, the jury has just some questions. I'm going to read these questions to you, and then you'll answer them, and the attorneys may have some follow-up, okay? All right. Did Mr. Cummings tell you that he was in a gang?
No.
Did you know Jason Addison was Wetherington's cellmate?
No.
Did you and Jason discuss anything about Wetherington?
No.
How long was the initial interview on December 7th? Talking about the interview with the trooper.
Like 22 minutes.
Were you allowed to rewatch the entire interview?
Yeah.
Did Cummings tell you that he thinks he killed him and was remorseful?
He didn't say nothing about he killed him. He just was frantic, like I shouldn't have did that.
Anything based on the jury's questions?
No, Your Honor.
Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so you may step down. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we're going to take our afternoon break.
It doesn't need to be lengthy.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that. Thank you. Okay, let's take 15 minutes, okay? And then we'll come back. Remember my instructions about discussing the case with each other, allow us to discuss it with you in your presence, and do not begin to form opinions yet.
Well,
So
why
with
don't
that,
you
let's
just
come
run
back
the
at
courtroom
3:30.
for me?
Rise.
Yeah, darling.
Got another fine specimen of the Ohio penal system.
Go ahead. call the witness.
Jason Addison.
Thank you.
Raise your right hand. You swear affirm the testimony of these
Not
proceedings
really.
the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Ah.
Yeah, I believe you.
Water if you need it. Touch screen if they have your voice.
Go ahead.
Aw.
Good afternoon. I'm going to ask you to keep your voice up so we make sure even the jurors in the very back can hear you, okay? Could you please state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Addison 769-336.
What's your first name?
Jason.
How do you spell your last name?
ADDISON.
And how old are you?
24.
And you're currently in prison, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long have you been in prison?
6.5 years.
And you're in prison for aggravated robbery and tampering with evidence, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to turn your attention back to December 6th of 2023. What institution were you housed at that time?
Lebanon.
Lebanon Correctional?
Yes, ma'am.
And what cell block were you in?
J. John.
Do you recall what cell you were in?
I think 3 or 2. Yeah.
2J3?
Yeah, I think so.
How long had you been in 2J3?
2 days.
And where had you been at before you were placed in 2J3?
I was in the hole.
And was your cellmate Marquise Weatherington in 2J3?
Yes, ma'am.
Had you known Marquise before you were placed in a cell with him?
No.
Had you been in J block before you'd gone to the hole?
No, I was in another block. I was in like I think 8 Adam or 8 Henry.
So you'd only been in J block for a couple days.
Yes, ma'am.
In the 2 days that you knew Mr. Weatherington, how would you describe him?
I don't know. He shouldn't stuff and he was talking about going home and shit, but I don't really know him like for real like that.
Did you have any problems with him?
No, ma'am.
Did he tell you about any problems he was having with anybody else?
No.
You kind of each minded your own business.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 9, the picture. May I approach her?
Yes.
And just ask you if you recognize what's in this picture.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your cell at Lebanon Correctional?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, permission to publish her.
Go ahead.
And is this a fair and accurate depiction of what your cell looked like?
Yes, ma'am.
What were the
Toilet near the
sleeping
door.
arrangements?
Bad feng shui.
I slept on the bottom. He slept on the top.
Okay, so Mr. Weatherington's on the top, you're on the bottom.
Yes, ma'am.
What are we looking at over here on the side? What is this?
That's a dresser, I think.
So like a shelving unit?
Yeah.
And what kind of things would you put in there?
Like food, maybe your clothes.
In the time that you were with Mr. Weatherington, did he ever express concerns about his stuff being stolen?
No, ma'am, not to me.
He's very clean skinned, didn't he? Where's his tats?
Let's start at Chow on December 6th. Do you recall what time you would go to Chow?
Like 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Okay. Did anything happen at Chow on December 6th?
Yeah, so I went to Chow, and one of my friends approached me and told me that my cellie was having problems with people. So don't get involved in it. And I told him I wasn't going to get involved.
Ella's hit and with it.
And so how
I've
did
been
you
watching
decide
the
not to get
Netflix
involved in it?
documentary.
Whenever I went back to the block, whenever we was done eating and stuff, I just went to the phone room, and I called my family.
So is it fair to say you avoided your cell?
Yes, ma'am.
Making them an alibi.
And when you're in the phone room, are there cameras in the phone room?
No, I don't think so. I don't really remember, to be honest.
Did you eventually, at some point that evening, go back to your cell?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you approached by anybody before you went back to your cell?
Yes, ma'am.
Who was that?
I don't know his last name, but he approached me and told me I should go check on my cellie because we just beat his ass.
Do you see that individual in the courtroom? Right.
Blue shirt.
Where's he sitting?
The public defender.
Identifying the defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor. So he approached you and told you you needed to go check on your cellie, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Because we had just beat his ass.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Did you know the defendant?
Oh, she just gave birth.
No.
When he approached you, did you know who he was?
Just to get the baby fat
I mean,
on.
I seen him in the block, but I don't know him like that.
Okay.
It's got a fair bit more to go.
So you were told you needed to check on his
Well,
on your cellie. Did you go do
This is the
that?
first case back from
Yes, ma'am. Not like right away, but yeah.
leave.
And so what happens when you get back in your cell?
Whenever I come to my cell, it was a board in the window. I opened the door. The light was off. I stepped in my cell, turned the light on, and my cellie was on the floor face down, and he had no pants on.
And so you said there was something in the door, in the window of your door?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was that?
A shirt.
Is that uncommon that there's a shirt hanging in the window of the door?
Like if you're using the restroom or something, like people put them up.
So that alone didn't cause you any alarm. Is that
No.
fair? And you said the lights were off. And is there a light switch in your cell that controls the lights?
Yes, ma'am.
And you turned the lights on.
Yeah.
And you said your cellie was face down on the floor.
Yes, ma'am.
And you didn't have any pants on.
No.
What else did you notice about your cell?
It was messed up.
He didn't have any pants on.
No. After the fight, his pants were off.
Was he moving when you entered the cell?
What else were you doing?
I could really recognize.
I don't know.
Did Mr. Weatherington say anything to you
They
when
never
you turned
said.
No, I just turned right around and went back out to the day room.
And you said your cell was messed up. What was messed up about it?
There was just things everywhere. My blankets all over on the floor.
think
Like
so,
little
half Irish.
drippers. I remember.
Is that what your cell had looked like the last time you left it?
No.
So you said you immediately turned around, went back out, and went to the day room.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you get help?
Oh.
Did you make a phone call to your girlfriend that night?
Yes, ma'am. And my mom.
And
Was she Canadian?
did you express your concerns to her about what had happened
Yes.
to your cellmate?
Yeah, good practice. Good practice.
So you go check on your cellmate, you leave. Did you have contact with the defendant again?
You think?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I kind of thought SA as well, but nothing that I've seen, none of the charges were that, and they've never mentioned, they just said his pants were off, which is weird, but I suppose it is possible, in a very physical altercation that pants could come off.
Not really, like not completely off. Like were they completely
Yeah.
off or were they just down?
I don't think they have a picture of it, just testimony of what they saw. I don't know if they
Very
specify if they're
strange.
off. Yeah.
That's really weird. And you're right. Hi, is it good praxis? How are you? Nice to meet you. Yeah, that you would think it would be one of the charges.
Yeah.
Has there been any testimony about this at all?
Just mentioning the pants were off. And
That's
his
it.
pants were on in the video because the defendant helped along with someone else to get him lifted him up onto the top bunk later. When he was supposedly still alive.
Right. So they're on in the video and then they're just suddenly off when he's dead.
No,
That's all we
when
know.
he's dead, they're on.
So when were
It
they
was
off?
after the fight. After the fight.
So how did they get back on?
He put him on, like lifted him up or put him on him. And then when he lifted him up into the top bunk,
Who put them on?
the defendant or, oh, that was a blanket. Oh, okay. Maybe not.
So he must have had no pants on when he was dead.
Okay. Yeah.
Listen to Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I should
sure.
more often.
Don't listen to Dolly. He doesn't know what he was talking about.
Can you please tell the jury about that?
Get involved in that. And he was showing he was concerned. And he said, well, if I go up there, can you help me help him out? And I said, yeah. And then that's whenever we went to the cell and he flipped him over and told him like he was like tapping him, saying his name. And he threw some water on him and he put some pants on him. And he asked, I said, is he all right? He said, he's just knocked out. And then he asked me if I'd help him put him in his bed. And I did do that.
Okay. So first he asked you if your cellmate was all right.
Yes, ma'am.
You said, I don't know. And you didn't want to be a part of that.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that fair? But then you go with him to check on Mr. Weatherington again.
Yes, ma'am.
And was Mr. Weatherington still, had he moved any? Did it appear to you?
I couldn't really tell, to be honest.
And so you said the defendant flipped him over.
Yeah, he was trying to help him up and trying to help him out, like come to. And
Did Mr. Weatherington ever say anything to the two of you while you were in the cell?
no, ma'am.
And
Not
so
at this moment, no.
And so you said the defendant put pants on him.
Yes, ma'am.
Did Mr. Weatherington cooperate in that process at all? Like, did he help put his own pants on?
I wasn't really paying attention, to be honest.
And then you moved him up to his bed on the top rack. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Whose idea was that?
His.
The defendants?
Yes, ma'am.
How did you get him up there?
He picked,
Did Mr. Weatherington climb up there under his own power?
no,
Did he assist you at all in getting him up onto the top?
no, ma'am.
At any point while you were in the cell moving Mr. Weatherington, did Mr. Weatherington say anything to you or to the defendant?
No,
Wait.
not that I remember.
He got
So what happened
him
after you
up
put
there
Mr.
on his
Weatherington
own.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's contrary to
That's
what
not-
the defense says.
That's not right.
But I
So
don't know
was he
how he would have lifted him up
dead?
by himself.
He'd be okay.
Not
So
yet.
he's not completely dead, but he's like fucked up,
Beat up. Yeah.
right? And this woman just said, "So you didn't, Mr. Weatherington didn't get up there like under his own steam, right? So
No, he would have had to have been assisted.
big time."
Yeah. Okay, guys, I do have I can go back to what it looked like. And it is kind of graphic, guys, just a heads up.
Yeah, that's fun. I wanted to see what this was.
So we'll go back to the body cam. So he's on the top bunk here.
Yeah.
A lot of blood.
Yeah. That's
So is
okay.
that a
So that's
blanket?
maybe it is a blanket.
We gotta do this.
No, yeah. Where do you want me to put them?
So now, yeah. Okay.
Okay, turn around.
So, I mean, he was up there on the top bunk for a while, bleeding. I mean, it would be pretty
Right.
hard to one person to get him up there.
Yo. And why? Why the top bunk? Is that his bunk?
Probably. And there is like jail etiquette about bunks and whatnot. I thought
Those
they
are
were pants. They kind of look like pants. There's no slit.
It's really hard to see.
Yeah.
We gotta put up a man up here.
There's no slit. Yeah.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think those are pants. I mean, they're pretty
Yeah, that's-
baggy, so it'd be easy to put them on.
They look like pants.
Yeah. I'll take a photo of the dead guy.
Yeah. I don't know how to get him out this top rack.
Grab his arms. Just grab his arms.
So,
Here, grab his upper torso. All right. Hold on. I move on. Yeah.
oh yeah, those are pants.
So why were they saying there was no pants? When was there no pants?
Okay, so when they beat him up, after they beat him up, his
Yeah.
pants were off. And then when they put him up on the top bunk later, he had pants. They put pants on him
Right.
or helped him put his pants on.
Right.
Or it's possible he was already dead, but then again, he continued to bleed quite a bit on the mattress. Before they put
Yeah,
him back up on the top bunk, they put his pants back on.
Yeah. So I find it hard to believe that this guy who's on the stand right now is not like involved in some way.
I mean, it is his roommate, so
Yeah.
it's
Mm.
weird. There's like different explanations that could be, but we'll see more.
Well, I mean, I feel like him and the dude who beat him up, like the
Yeah.
cellie and the dude that beat him up, they must have both like got him up onto the top bunk, or there must have been somebody else in there at some
Later,
point, because there must have been, because
He could have done it by himself.
No, I don't think he could have done that on his own.
It was that.
His,
The defendants?
yes,
How did you get him up there?
ma'am. He picked,
Did Mr. Weatherington climb up there under his own power?
No,
Did he assist you at all in getting him up onto the top?
no, ma'am.
At any point while you were in the cell moving Mr. Weatherington, did Mr. Weatherington say anything to you or to the defendant?
No, not that I remember.
So what happened after you put Mr. Weatherington on the top bunk?
I just continued with my day room. I went and talked to my girlfriend, and I called my family and stuff. But
Were you concerned that Mr. Weatherington was not well?
yes, ma'am.
Did the defendant ever talk with you about what you should tell the police? Thanks.
I don't know.
At some point, you get locked into your cell for the night, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recall what time that happens at Lebanon?
Like 9 o'clock.
And where was Mr. Weatherington when you went into your cell to lockdown?
He was on the top rack.
Did it appear he had moved at all?
No, ma'am. I wasn't really paying attention, honestly. Not that I can see. No,
He talked to you at all?
no, ma'am.
Did you alert a CO at the time of lockdown that Mr. Weatherington needed help?
Yes, ma'am.
You alerted a CO?
Yes, ma'am. At 10:30, when third shift came in, I tried to signal. It was an African working, and I tried to signal to him like, "My cellie needs help. Can you help him, please?" And he just kept walking.
So you tried to signal. How did you try to signal?
I went like this. I'm like, my cellie. I'm talking to him like, my cellie needs help. And I'm pointing up there to the rack. The lights on, so I know you see the blood and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But he just kept walking. So
Did Mr. Weatherington have a blanket on him on the top rack?
I don't remember, honestly.
So after you tried to alert the CO, did you try to alert any other corrections officers through the night?
No, I just laid down.
At any point through the night, did Mr. Weatherington get down off his bunk? Did he talk to you at all?
No.
Did you clean up your cell at all that night?
No, ma'am.
So let's talk about the next morning. What typically happens in the morning? What time are you let out of your cell?
I'm like anywhere from 6:30, 7:30 for breakfast for child.
And do you check on Mr. Weatherington in the morning?
Yes, ma'am. I did say I was trying to get his attention in the morning, but he wasn't answering me. I knew that's whenever I knew something was like really wrong. So he wasn't answering me. He didn't get up for child. So, and then there was my blanket had blood all over it, and I did take that out and I threw it in the trash can.
Where had your blanket been?
It was on the floor by the door.
What's the condition of your cell in the morning?
Still a mess.
So when you took that blanket out and threw it away, did you take any other property out?
No, ma'am. I remember you told me that there was a shirt in there. I didn't know though. I did. I just threw my blanket away. It was like bunched up by the door.
So you just grabbed stuff off the floor and threw it away?
Yeah, but my blanket had blood on it all over it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where were you when, did you ever alert any COs in the morning about
I was going to, but I went to child when I came back. They was already in my cell.
Okay. So you had been at Chow when they found Mr. Weatherington?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did you do when you re-entered the block at that point?
I just sat at the table. They put me in handcuffs and took me to the captain's office.
Okay. And then did you speak with Trooper Creech from the Highway Patrol later that day?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you tell him everything you know and cooperate with him at that time?
I was honest, yeah.
I could have a moment here. I have nothing further at this time.
You can do some research on that map.
All right, so you're in prison for aggravated robbery?
Yes, sir.
And tampering with evidence?
Yes, sir.
And you said you've been in for roughly 6.5 years?
Yes, sir.
All right. And I believe your outdate's sometime in 2027?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you stated that Cummings told you that you needed to go check on your cellmate.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that's when you walk in, you see Weatherington on the floor, half naked.
Yes, sir.
And at that time, you don't report it to anyone?
No.
You walk back out?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you stated later on, Cummings asked if Weatherington was okay?
Yes, sir.
And that's when you said no?
I said, I don't know.
Oh, you said, I don't know, okay. And you actually asked Cummings to help move Weatherington to his bunk?
No, I didn't ask him that.
No, Cummings came to you and said that he was going to help move him?
Yeah, while we was in the cell.
Okay. And he came back to the cell roughly, we know from the video, it was 8:12 p.m.?
Okay.
Okay, does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. And at that time, that's when Cummings helps Weatherington up on the cell, correct?
Yeah.
And I believe you said something to the extent that Cummings said he had just been knocked out?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's when Cummings tries to pour water on Weatherington?
Yeah.
And Cummings is trying to wake him up?
Yeah, he was trying to wake him up.
And that's when, well, explain this to me. How did Cummings get Weatherington up there? I'm still confused on that because we just saw some body camera. It took 2 corrections officers to get him off the bed.
No, I told him that I helped him onto his rack.
Okay. And I believe at one point you said that Weatherington was still alive while that happened.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest.
Okay. But Cummings physically, I mean, he was touching him, grabbing him, right? Lifting him up on the rack?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So he was making contact with him while he was lifting him. Okay. And do you recall if Weatherington had any commissary before all this happened?
To be honest.
Okay. Were you aware? I know it's only 2 days with Weatherington, but were you aware of Weatherington having issues with people stealing commissary?
No. Not to my knowledge, no.
Really?
Okay. But you said at some point you were informed that Weatherington was having issues with other people.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that the Carless felons?
I don't know. No, I don't think.
Okay. Do you know James Ogletree at all?
No.
Dally needs to come back.
One moment,
We
Your
need to
Honor.
play it back. Dally, did you hear that?
What?
Did you hear that?
No.
We need to play that little bit back.
How far?
A minute. So when he talked about whether or not the dude was alive when he was moving him up.
Time, that's when Cummings helps Weatherington up on the cell, correct?
Yeah.
And I believe you said something to the extent that Cummings said he had just been knocked out?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's when Cummings tries to pour water on Weatherington?
Yeah.
And Cummings is trying to wake him up?
Yeah, he was trying to wake him up.
And that's when, well, explain this to me. How did Cummings get Weatherington up there? I'm still confused on that because we just saw some body camera. It took 2 corrections officers to get him off the bed.
No, I told him that I helped him onto his rack.
Okay. And I believe at one point you said that Weatherington was still alive while that happened.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest.
Okay. But Cummings physically, I mean, he was touching him, grabbing him, right? Lifting him up on the rack?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So he was making contact with him while he was lifting him. Okay. And do you recall if Weatherington had any commissary before all this happened?
To be honest.
Okay. Were you aware? I know it's only
Right.
2 days with Weatherington, but were you aware of
Didn't he
Weatherington?
say on direct that he got the dude up onto the
That was what I
bed?
heard.
He did.
Yeah.
He didn't say that the other dude got him up on there. He said he did it.
Yeah.
He never said that the he just said just then that the defendant did it, right?
Okay. So he was making contact with him while he was lifting him. Okay. And do you recall if Weatherington had any commissary before all this happened?
To be honest.
Okay. Were you aware? I know it's only 2 days with Weatherington, but were you aware of Weatherington having issues with people stealing commissary?
No. Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. But you said at some point you were informed that Weatherington was having issues with other people.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that the Carless felons?
I don't know. No, I don't think.
Okay. Do you know James Ogletree at all?
No.
Okay. One moment, Your Honor.
Yeah, Paul, 100%. That's what happened.
No further questions.
Redirect.
No, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions for Mr. Addison, please release them in writing. Remember the instruction, do not discuss or display any proposed questions. I mean, you can answer them, you will answer them, and then the attorneys may have follow-up. Okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you help clean up?
No, ma'am.
Why didn't you get another officer's attention when the other one didn't respond?
Because I didn't know what to do, honestly.
All right. Any questions based on the
I needed
jury's
my
questions?
beauty sleep.
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, you may step down.
Thank you.
Why did you go to sleep in a room with a dead, dude who's bleeding out? Hello?
Call your next witness.
Trooper Christopher Creech.
So we got about
Be the truth, the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
30-ish minutes left.
Are there any charges against that dude?
That one, no.
Why?
Well, because he wasn't the one that beat him up, supposedly. There was a co-defendant. He pled out before this.
Who's the codependent?
I had it earlier.
But not so much his name, but who is he? Where does he play a part in all this?
He was the one who had his stuff stolen, if I'm remembering right.
Right. Okay. So what? He colluded to him being beaten up?
Yeah.
Right.
He assisted. Whereas, and the defendant will testify, and we get to hear from his perspective.
Yeah. But moving a dead body is also crime. Yeah.
That's true. I guess you'd have to prove he was dead at the time.
Well, okay. Moving somebody who is in the process of dying.
Yeah.
May I proceed? Could you please state your name, spelling your last name for the record?
It's Christopher Creech, spelled, my last name is spelled Creech.
And where are you currently employed?
I'm a state trooper with the Ohio State Highway Patrol.
And you don't work road patrol, is that right?
That is correct.
Where are you currently assigned?
I'm assigned to our Office of Criminal Investigations.
And how long have you been with the Ohio State Highway Patrol?
A little over 19 years.
And how long have you been in your current capacity with the Office of Investigations?
Since July of 22, so a little over 3 years.
And what other positions have you held within the Ohio State Highway Patrol?
Started out the academy as a road trooper. I worked at 3 different area posts here in Southwest Ohio, and then after that, I joined the Executive Protection Unit for the Governor of Ohio.
And what are your job duties and responsibilities as an investigator?
We investigate serious felony crimes or any felony crimes that happen in or around our state leased property or state-owned property. Also involved in investigations involving road troopers that would prolong an investigation.
The defendant, what kind of time was the defendant facing before this? Defendant was going to get out this year in a few months. The other guy was not going to get out till like 43.
Who's the other guy?
The co-defendant.
Right.
So the defendant here really has a lot to lot riding on the outcome of this.
Investigation, we would take over that investigation for them.
And so crimes that occur on state property, that would include the prisons operated by the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections, correct?
That's correct.
And there are 2 ODRC facilities in Warren County, is that correct?
There's 2 prisons, correct.
Which prisons are those?
Lebanon Correctional and Warren Correctional.
And where is Lebanon Correctional located?
3791 State Route 63 in Lebanon, Ohio.
And how do you become involved in investigations of crimes that occur on the grounds of a state prison like Lebanon Correctional?
We're usually contacted by the prison itself. Usually the prison investigator who is contacts us and informs us of a felony crime that occurred.
So you said that the prison investigators are employed by the Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. How are they different than you?
They are not commissioned officers. They cannot press charges. They conduct administrative investigations among inmates, but anything criminal, we would take over that investigation.
So it's fair to say that prison investigators do conduct a number of investigations that stay within the prison.
That's correct.
But if a crime needs to be prosecuted outside of the kind of prison disciplinary system, you get involved. Is that fair?
Correct.
And I want to turn your attention to the morning of December 7th of 2023. Were you notified of an incident that had occurred at Lebanon Correctional Institution?
I was.
And how were you notified?
Actually, our Lebanon Dispatch Center notified me, contacted our office. I picked up the phone and they let me know that an EMS squad round was running to the Lebanon Correctional Institution for unresponsive inmate.
And so what did you do at that time?
At that point, I contacted the prison investigator, Eric Kerner, and he had told me that Mr. Weatherington, Marquise Weatherington, was unresponsive in his cell, and he appeared to be a victim of an assault. And at that point, they had placed his cellmate, Jason Addison, in custody.
Do you respond out to Lebanon Correctional as a result of the information you received from Investigator Kerner?
I do, along with troop response.
And about what time did you receive that dispatch originally from the Lebanon Post?
Approximately 7:45, 7:50.
And what time do you respond to Lebanon Correctional Institution?
I arrived there a little after 8 o'clock.
And what happens when you arrive at Lebanon Correctional?
Upon my arrival, we were actually in the facility, and I approached the EMS that was actually exiting the facility and spoke with Captain Gurdon, who just testified earlier, and he told me that inmate Weatherington was pronounced deceased about 8 a.m. and that he appeared to be a victim of an assault.
So do you call additional investigators in at that time to assist in your investigation?
Yeah, my supervisor was already made aware of the scenario, so they've called the other investigators.
Okay. So what do you do once you actually enter Lebanon Correctional?
Once I enter Lebanon Correctional, we go through screening. We have to be checked just like any other visitor for weapons or any contraband. After we go through the screening, we go back to the 2J block, and that's where we meet with Investigator Gurdon.
Did you record kind of the entrance to J block and your walk to cell 2J3?
Yes, I did.
And have you reviewed that video?
Yes, I have.
Is that a fair and accurate representation of that walk you made on December 7th and how J block appeared?
Yes.
Your permission to place State's Exhibit 6.
Any objection? No objection. Okay, proceed.
Upstairs? Yes, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Sir, you need in that cell?
Yeah.
Litter. More litter. Gosh.
Let me videotape this real quick.
Don't they have any pride in their living arrangements?
If you want to open it, I'll put some gloves on it. Oh, that matters.
Ah, jeez. Toilet was full of toilet paper. What a courtesy flush, dude. They do get a window. That's nice.
It is actually.
Well, probably north facing bed. A little thing for storage there. It's nice. Good feng shui. No, I like it. It's homey.
It's not too bad.
Cozy. You know, the only thing missing, like, is one of those little cat posters, like, hanging in there with a cat, like, holding onto, like, a rope. That'd just make it feel just like home.
Picture of the Last Supper, you know, with the dogs.
Just ketchup. That's a good point. So the cellie went to bed. Like this.
Yeah, imagine there would be blood like dripping on him.
Yeah.
That's how 2J3 appeared when you arrived.
Yes.
Just like the Idaho 4 situation. Oh, wait.
Did you know anything about J block when you arrived at J block? Did that block mean anything to you?
Too soon?
We've had a significant amount of cases out of that block prior to that. But
Did you know it just to be a general population housing unit?
Sure is going to call 911 8 hours later.
And was it your understanding that
On what,
the
his
cell had
prison
been
phone?
secured prior to your arrival?
yes, I was told by that by Mr. Kerner.
And were photographs taken of the inside of the cell before you processed the scene to collect any evidence?
They were.
And I really have to say, this guy wasn't even stabbed, and there was that much blood.
Yeah. Right.
One person, not stabbed.
One person.
Head wounds bleed a
Don't let
lot.
blood.
Okay, so yeah, busted nose bleeds like a faucet. That's fair. I mean, probably as much as, you know, a knife wound, you'd think. Just saying.
Or 50.
Or 50 on 3 different people, but, you know, 4
Four.
different people.
Who took those
Sorry.
photographs?
Trooper Clance took the photographs.
And were you present when those photographs were taken?
I was.
Have you reviewed those photographs?
I did.
Just weird.
And are they a fair and accurate representation of the state of 2J3 when you arrived?
Yes.
Your Honor, permission to approach?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibits 7 to
Hey, beautiful waterfall.
7 to 28. I'm going to ask you to go through these and just generally tell me if you recognize these photographs.
Take your time. We're hourly.
Do you recognize these photographs?
I do.
And are they fair and accurate representations of 2J3?
They are.
Your Honor, permission to publish?
Proceed.
State's Exhibit 7, what are we looking at here?
This is the entrance to the cell.
And the caution tape that we see, was that placed by you?
Was not.
Who was it placed by?
It's placed by 11 correctional staff.
And moving to State's Exhibit 8,
That's the right at the entrance and the like a blood smear coming from the inside of the cell out to the range.
and was it your understanding that that occurred as a result of staff's movement of Mr. Weatherington's body?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 9,
That's just the picture of from standing just outside the cell into it.
and State's Exhibit 10.
It's just as you approach inside the cell.
And from your experience, is this a standard cell at Lebanon Correctional?
Yes.
The layout, the size?
That's correct.
State's Exhibit 11,
That's myself standing on the outside of the cell while Trooper Collins is taking photos from the back wall, which would be the west wall out towards the east, towards the range.
Lurking in the
and
back.
State's Exhibit 12.
That is the Mr. Weatherington's bed.
And it was it your understanding that's where he was located by corrections staff?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 13.
That is the picture of Mr. Addison's bed, the cellmate.
Did Mr. Addison's bed, when you got there, have any bedding on it?
It did not.
And State's Exhibit 14.
Just a picture of the floor with apparent blood drops on the floor.
State's Exhibit 15.
Looks like the edge of the bed of Mr. Addison's bed with some more blood droplets on there.
And State's Exhibit 16.
The shelving unit in the cell.
State's Exhibit 17.
Like a blood smear on top of the shelving unit.
And
Pretty
State's Exhibit 18.
sanitary.
Fan there and possibly some papers and some clothing.
And State's Exhibit 19.
That would be the south wall where the bed would set up against, and some sheets or some clothing that was hanging from Mr. Weatherington's cell and blood running down the cell wall.
And was that sheet positioned there when you arrived?
Yes, I did.
State's Exhibit 20.
Roughly the same area. It's just another picture of it. You can kind of move outside to get a better picture of the blood.
And so was that blood running down from the top bunk?
It is running down from the top bunk area, correct.
State's Exhibit 21.
That is best we can get an overhead view of Mr. Weatherington's bed.
And State's Exhibit 22.
Again, the other side of his bed, the south side of it, against the wall. Just a picture of that. The blankets that were on Mr. Weatherington's bed, the green and white one.
Was it your understanding from correctional staff that there was a blanket over Mr. Weatherington when they first entered the cell?
Yes.
And State's Exhibit 24.
That's after we removed the sheet. The
This
bed
is
sheet,
very
that's
graphic,
the picture of the mattress
guys,
without bed sheet on it.
And State's Exhibit
Just a warning.
25.
Again, another angle from of that mattress.
State's Exhibit 26.
This is this would be the northwest corner of the cell near the window.
And why was this corner of interest to you?
It seemed like a blood pool was there, and it seemed like almost to us that maybe that's where some of the attack took place.
State's Exhibit 27.
Again, a closer picture of that, and along with a white cloth or almost, I wouldn't say a rope, but a piece of cloth that was covered in blood.
And State's Exhibit 28.
There's another close-up picture of that.
And is that the cloth you were referring to?
That's correct.
Formal complaint.
All right. Did you collect any evidence from within the cell after you photographed it?
Yes.
What evidence did you collect from within the cell?
We collected the cloth, the blanket, the sheet of the bed. We also collected a pair of white boxer shorts that were covered in blood that was found on the shelf. Collected a blue towel that had blood on it, was found on the shelf, and we also collected swabs of areas where blood was found.
After processing the cell, did you collect any other evidence at that time from the second range of J Block?
I did.
And where did you collect that evidence?
We were informed by Investigator Kerner that Addison could be seen leaving the cell with some clothing items and appeared he might possibly throw them in a trash can.
All right, I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 29 to 32 and ask if you recognize those photographs. And what are those generally photographs of?
Those are photographs of the shirt that had Mr. Weatherington's name on that we found in the trash can.
Okay. State's Exhibit 29. What is this a photograph of?
This is a photo of outside of the cell door, going down towards the north end of the range.
And where is the trash can that the evidence was collected from?
You can see it in the far right corner there.
And State's Exhibit 30.
That's just a picture of inside the trash can.
And it's the shirt that you collected visible in that photograph?
Yes, it's right there on kind of the right of the trash can right there.
I think your screen is a touch screen. Could you
Oh, yeah,
indicate?
it's right here in this area.
Thank you so much, Doc Sabers. Love the Dolly channel. So it's very appreciated. Thank you. Always good to have you here.
Thank you.
And this is an up-close picture of Mr. Weatherington's name and his inmate ID number.
And is that standard for their name and inmate ID number to be on their clothing?
Can be, yes.
What do you do after collecting the evidence from the second range of J block in the cell and photographing the scene?
I believe Mr. Kerner had told us at that point that they had been reviewing footage for us while we were collecting and processing the scene, and that they had saw inmate Anthony Cummings and inmate James Ogletree vigils, and their clothing was going to be taken and their cells had been secured to scenes too. And at that point, we had left from there because Mr. Weatherington's body had been transported to the infirmary. We were going to go there to photograph his body and collect evidence from his person.
And the infirmary was at the prison, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And in your experience, was that standard that the prison may move an individual's body to the infirmary to wait for you, or do they typically leave it? What's your experience?
It depends on the situation. Sometimes they've left it, sometimes they've moved it to the infirmary.
And do you collect any evidence from the infirmary other than taking photographs?
Yes, we do.
What did you collect from the
We
infirmary?
collect all the clothing that Mr. Weatherington was wearing.
And what observations, if any, did you make about Mr. Weatherington's physical appearance as you were photographing him in the infirmary?
He looked like he had a large head wound to his left side of his head. There's blood in his hair and on his body. He had some bruising to his arms and his torso and like his neck and face area.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 33 to 40. And ask if you recognize what is depicted in these photographs. What generally are those photographs?
Those are photographs of Mr. Weatherington's body and his injuries.
And are these photographs a fair and accurate representation of how the condition of Mr. Weatherington's body when you viewed it in the infirmary on the morning of December 7th?
They are.
Your Honor, permission to publish?
See.
Starting with State's Exhibit 33.
Maximize it. Come on. You can do it. There you go.
What are we looking at here?
This is a single rack, single bunk, and we're seeing Mr. Weatherington is underneath this sheet on a stretcher or a backboard.
And moving to State's Exhibit 34.
This is after we removed the sheet, and this is how we found Mr. Weatherington underneath that.
State's Exhibit 35.
Just another angle of him, of a kind of over top.
And State's Exhibit 36.
This is after we removed the straps, and you can see some wounds and stuff to his face.
State's Exhibit 37.
This is I've actually picked it, I believe, right there. If I can circle it here, you can kind of see the laceration or gash.
And you said there was blood visible in his hair.
Yes, you can see how you can almost see this in this area there.
And State's Exhibit 38.
This is an overview of his face.
And did you know?
The nose appeared swollen, especially on the, I believe this is his right side here, and he had some blood in his mouth, and his lip was swollen here.
And State's Exhibit 39.
Some bruising to his torso here in this area.
And are we seeing the AED that was left on him by medical staff?
That's correct.
And State's Exhibit 40.
And my supervisor and I, from that point on, went to interview Mr. Addison, Mr. Withington's cellmate.
And where was that interview conducted?
It was inside the attorney's room.
At Lebanon Correctional?
That's correct.
And what was Mr. Addison's demeanor as you met with him?
He was scared. He immediately told us that he wanted to cooperate with us. He was read his Miranda rights, and we began the interview.
Did he answer all of your questions?
He did.
Was he cooperative with you?
He was.
And were you able to corroborate the statements Mr. Addison made to you through other evidence you found in your investigation?
So, that he made phone calls to her talking about the assault, and that he was wanting to check her pulse by reviewing his pulse, and she was telling him how to do this, and those matched up to his story.
And were you able to verify his whereabouts on the surveillance?
Yes.
Did Jason Addison voluntarily provide you with a DNA sample?
He did.
And what did you do after you spoke with Mr. Addison?
After that, we went to the investigator's office to review some more footage, actually review it ourselves, and so we can establish some more suspects and review the footage of, and that we saw Mr. Cummings and Ogletree enter the cell. And we also saw that Mr. Keem had walked by the cell while the incident was occurring.
So you had suspects identified at that time?
Yes.
And who were those suspects?
At that time, we identified him as Mr. Anthony Cummings and Mr. James Ogletree.
When you reviewed the surveillance video, did you see anybody else enter the cell during the time period in question?
In the time period in question, I saw during the assault?
Correct.
No, just Mr. Cummings and Ogletree, that I can recall.
And after reviewing that surveillance footage, did you identify Shaquiz Akeem as a potential witness?
I did.
Did you speak with him?
I did.
And did he answer all your questions?
He did.
Did you do anything else on December 7th?
We interviewed a few other inmates. Mr. Billy Dotson, who was a leader. A drill is essentially like a robbery or something was going to happen.
Objection to hearsay. Sustained.
So
You're
you
instructed to disregard that response.
So you talked to some other people.
That's correct.
Other than that, did you do anything else on the 7th?
Just took the evidence back to our office and placed it in our evidence locker.
Okay. And so on December 8th, so we're on day 2 of your investigation, did you observe the autopsy of Marquise Weatherington?
I did.
Where did that occur?
Montgomery County Coroner's Office.
And did you obtain a blood card?
Hey, was the judge just giving the finger?
I'm going to come back to that. Did you obtain a search warrant for?
Like, what, a little bit more? There! Oh no. He had 2 fingers.
I'm going to come back to that. Did you obtain a search warrant for DNA samples from Anthony Cummings and James Ogletree?
Yeah, Trooper Schuller drew the search warrant and got assigned, I believe, by Judge Oda.
And did you have an opportunity to interview both Anthony Cummings and James Ogletree on the 8th?
That's correct.
And did you obtain what are called buccal swabs from each of them to obtain a DNA sample pursuant to that search warrant?
I did.
Buccal swabs.
And eventually, during the course of your investigation, did you speak with a number of staff members at Lebanon Correctional who had been involved in the response to this incident?
I did.
And did you have an opportunity to review all of their reports?
I did.
Now, there was, as you've described, physical evidence that was collected by both yourself and Trooper Klontz in this case. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And was all of that evidence taken back to the Ohio State Highway Patrol Office of Investigations for secure storage?
It was.
And was that evidence cataloged and photographed?
It was.
Were you present for that process?
I was present.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 41 to 44. And ask you if you recognize what's depicted in this photograph. What generally are those photographs?
These are photographs of a blue sweatshirt and a white thermal pants.
And are these fair and accurate photographs of that blue sweatshirt and those thermal pants as they were photographed at the Highway Patrol?
They were.
Permission to publish?
Yes.
I'm going to start with State's Exhibit. What are we looking at in this photograph?
It's a blue sweatshirt. I believe that's the sweatshirt that was found in cell 2J31, Mr. Cummings' cell.
And State's Exhibit 42.
This is from that in some area. I believe there's blood stains in this area here.
And State's Exhibit 43.
This is a white thermal pants, again, with blood cell 2J17.
And were these items and some additional items, the thermal pants, the sweatshirt, and some additional items, along with the buccal swabs and the blood card for Mr. Wetherington, were those all submitted for testing to the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigations?
They were.
What was your purpose?
To gain DNA evidence whose DNA was on these items of clothing or in, and also to rule out individuals.
And during the course of your investigation, were you provided photographs that were taken of Mr. Cummings and Mr. Ogletree shortly after they were detained and correctional staff related to this incident?
I obtained some photos from them, yes.
And those photos were taken by Lebanon correctional staff, correct?
Yes, they were not taken by myself.
I'm going to show you those photographs now. State's Exhibit 47 through 51. You can take a look at those. Are those fair and accurate copies of the photos you received from Lebanon?
Do you need to get going?
Yeah. See ya.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
Cool.
All right, guys. We just got a few minutes left.
The correctional that they had taken of the defendant and Mr. Ogletree.
Yes.
I'm going to start with State's Exhibit 47. What are we looking at here?
A shirtless picture of Mr. Cummings.
And State's Exhibit 48.
Picture of his hands.
And when you interviewed Mr. Cummings, did you observe any injury on him?
I did not.
And State's Exhibit 49. And State's Exhibit 50.
A picture of Mr. Ogletree's hands.
And State's Exhibit.
A wound picture of his hand is right hand.
And did you observe that wound when you interviewed him?
I did.
Did you observe any other injuries on Mr. Ogletree?
No.
If I could have just a moment, Your Honor. When you observed the autopsy of, after observing the autopsy of Mr. Wetherington, did you obtain a blood card from the coroner?
I did.
And was the purpose in that so that you had a DNA sample for comparison purposes to send to BCI?
That's correct.
And I'm going to hand you what's been marked as. And is this how you obtained it from them?
It was in an envelope, yes.
Is this in the same or substantially similar condition as to when you obtained it?
Yes.
Do you have gloves out there with you?
I do not.
I got it. Oh, you need scissors?
If you go ahead and open that and confirm it is what you received from the coroner.
I'll just be ending in a minute.
Or may we approach?
Yes. 25 to 30 minutes. We still have costs to go and everything else. So now would be a good time to break for the evening. Remember my instructions overnight. They still apply to you.
Okay, so that was quite interesting. I'll be back tomorrow for courtroom roulette at 10 a.m. Eastern, but we'll start day 2, probably the first half of day 2. I think it's only a 2-day trial. Hopefully we'll get to the end by Friday. I'm hoping. So yeah, I'll start this at 5 p.m. Eastern. What is this guy's defense? He's going to end up testifying. It certainly, basically, he's accused of collaboration, I think, conspiracy. He was like the lookout and assisted someone in the beatdown. But he's going to testify, and it's pretty interesting. So yeah, we'll be back tomorrow at 10 and finish or start day 2, 5 p.m. Eastern. So thanks everybody for being here. Thank you, Louise. And all the Erica for the gifted memberships and becoming a member 2.0. And Doc Sabers, thank you so much. So I will see you guys later. Thanks, guys. Oh, and thank you, Half Irish.